I know I'm not supposed to be smoking this shit, like, it's killing me. Oh. You know, let me tell you something. If people were as worried about themselves as they were me, they wouldn't be a shitty person. I hope this works. I connected it right back to the Wi-Fi. I thought I was already hooked up. But, you know, I've only got like 15 devices, so it's kind of hard to keep up with everything when the iPhone, see, that's the iPhone, and this one is too. Both of these iPhones are through Boost Mobile, and they don't work half the time because it automatically cuts the Wi-Fi on. And if it automatically cuts it on, then my phone doesn't work. So I had completely went into the setting and cut it off and did not realize that I wasn't on the Wi-Fi. Sorry. We have Wi-Fi though. Thank God. That was my stomach. Hola. Hola. What was I talking about? I was talking about, oh, the social pressures of how much pressure we put on children, expecting them to just grow up, take on massive amounts of college debt, buy a car, get a home, get married, have children, and the economy doesn't match that. They literally cannot. And then what did the government say? They gave them like a $5,000 incentive. That's hilarious. So I used to pay $350 a week out of pocket for childcare. At that rate, and I'm sure it's double now. Let's see what it is. What is the going? Does anybody in here have kids that they have to pay out of pocket for childcare? How much are you paying for your childcare? Please drop it in the mints. Hey, Holly. That is coffee. You want to sip? You want some? I wish I had some Kahlua to go in it because I'm not in the mood today. You ever just wake up and want to drink? That was as soon as I woke up, I was like, I don't want to work today. I don't want to do anything today. I just don't even want to be on this earth today. You know, if there would have been a liquor store, my legs might have went like this and like that, and I might have been at the liquor store. It was one of those days. Here in Bama. Listen, I be playing charades with like the comment section. We need to have a game where y'all jump in and y'all just talk to me, and then if I can figure out what you mean, then, and that's my fault because of my dyslexia. $250 a week, and that's cheap. Yeah. Alabama, I got you now. I got you now. Let's see, what's the average cost of childcare in the U.S.? And it's going to vary per state, probably. But that was back in 2014. I was paying $350 a week. Jesus Christ. Whew. It's talking about $400 a week, which is actually not bad. And I mean, you know, with inflation, if I was paying $350 a week back in 2014, I was actually expecting it to be double of that because everything's doubled in cost from food to everything. So, yeah. I mean, that's still a huge part. So it says average annual cost for an infant care in center-based programs is $1,200 a month. The cost of childcare for 2 kids in a center exceeds the typical annual mortgage payment in 41 states. And our government offered people, what, $5,000 to have children? So we'll cover 3 months of diapers. Well, not even. We'll cover 3 months of childcare and wipes. That's their incentive for That's their incentive to encourage people to have children. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. Yeah, and it said a private nanny is going to run you $1,000 almost, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like me paying 350 a month, and I mean a week. A week, I was paying 350 a week out of pocket. Um, yeah, I was thinking that inflation, but I also paid for private childcare. My daughter never went to a daycare, so I understand the risk, and I also understand that not everybody has people that they can pay for private childcare. But I would highly recommend private childcare over these types of centers. Not only are they dangerous, but there's been daycare workers on a regular basis that are arrested for child abuse. It's known that a lot of these daycare workers are dangerous. They're child abusers. It's so unfortunate. Just like school teachers, you know. Oh, speaking of which, do y'all remember that little girl that I told y'all about? The Baptiste, Rebecca Baptiste. I'm not getting service at all today. Yeah, and child care workers don't get paid anything. Yeah, they typically, in a state like mine, they make $7 an hour. After taxes, they make 5.50, $6. So yeah, and that's part of the reason that we see so many of them arrested for child abuse. It's a lack of intelligence. It sure is. Yeah. Wow. So it looks like they've done like rewrote a Bing search on her. Like I don't know what to call it. When you search her name, this is what comes up. So it says Rebecca Baptiste's death. The tragic death of 10-year-old Rebecca Baptiste has been a significant event in the community, highlighting the systematic failures in child welfare and the need for accountability. Let me just be clear. The teachers at Rebecca's school, Rebecca was 10 years old, bright, bubbly, beautiful little girl, whole life ahead of her, two horrible parents. The teachers at Rebecca's school had notified CPS workers over 12 times that Rebecca was being abused. Over 12 times. It was 13 to be exact. This was Rebecca. And yeah. She was found unresponsive in her home with signs of severe abuse and neglect. Not only that, the autopsy revealed that she had been being abused physically and sexually. This is part of the new stuff that I found out last night. It had been ongoing for years. The physical abuse, they could tell from different stages of healing by bruising on the body, wounds on the body, cigarette burns on the body, I do believe. Let me fact check that because I'm pretty sure that's one of the things they discovered in her autopsy. Let's see if there's a copy. So they could tell that she'd been abused, like I said, physically and sexually for a long time. So it appears that there was a set of twin boys that lived in the residence. So it was the father, Baptiste, his girlfriend, and they had a set of twins. Anicia Woods is her name. They had a set of twins a few years back. And it doesn't appear that the twins got abused like Rebecca. It appears that Rebecca got the most of it in some of the worst ways imaginable. Sorry, I'm trying to get my Wi-Fi to work. My phone's seasoned today. Yeah, the workers from CPS, they're trying to deny any kind of responsibility. They're saying, "Oh, there was no signs." Um, you guys saw their mugshots, right? They are walking red flags. Walking red flags. I cannot get this to come up. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, they were both walking red flags. So for CPS to say, "Oh, there was no signs, we couldn't tell," blah 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 blah, they're not very smart. Then they need to quit their job because they're not good at it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like they're not deserving of the position if they can't read people. Part of their job would be profiling. Who are they profiling? Families. Families. That's their job. Just like it's the cop's job to profile people and follow them around and see what they're up to. CPS, that is their job. Their job is to profile families. And clearly, because people are becoming dumber, we have more children that are slipping through the cracks and being killed, and being abused and re-victimized. This is bullshit. Why is this not working? I just cannot win in life, can I? The Wi-Fi is not working, okay? That phone wasn't hooked up to Wi-Fi. It's still messing up. I can see it like jittering. What is the point of paying for a service if it's just not even going to work anymore? Seriously. Absolutely crazy. Nothing's working. None of my phones. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, so much for trying to work. None of my stuff works. Let's see if this computer works. Here it is. This is ridiculous. This is the world now, Brooke. Get used to it. CPS visited these people's homes 13 times and saw nothing wrong with these two walking red flags. Both of them look mentally disturbed, so unwell, and I call bullshit. I call bullshit. I think we need charges on the books to lock up CPS workers who fail to do their obligated job. I sure do. I think that we need to hold these mandated reporters responsible for these children's deaths. We need laws on the books. Anybody got any ideas? Laws on the books. There is zero excuse for this child's death. Zero. The teachers at the school are they're the ones that are in the street trying to get justice for Rebecca right now. Her teachers, yeah, they're like protesting. They're not happy about this child's death because 13 times they contacted CPS, and 13 times CPS had an obligation to keep Rebecca safe, and they failed to do so. So this child is found dead in her parents' home. And it is now up to these teachers who taught Rebecca to fight for her. That's who's out here fighting. They're pissed. They're literally in the streets ready to burn some shit down. And good for them. Good for them. We need more people like those teachers. It's unacceptable. So let's see. Reports made to the Department of Child Safety before 10-year-old Rebecca's death have emerged, leading to the murder charges against her father and his girlfriend. This case is a note to men to be very careful when dating women and bringing them around your children. To my knowledge, there is no history of abuse prior to Mr. Baptiste starting to date Alicia Woods. It's only when he starts dating Alicia Woods does little Rebecca start getting abused. At some point, Mr. Baptiste and Alicia Woods had 2 twin boys together. It does not appear that those children were abused. So this was personal. We see a lot of cases like this with women who get with men who are jealous of the child and they physically abuse the child. And they also will coerce their boyfriend into abusing his own child to prove his love to the new girlfriend. It's psychological torture. It's so heartbreaking that these types of behaviors are not talked about more, because this stuff can be prevented. This is just as much his fault as it is his girlfriend's fault. Look at these people. Look at these people. Let's be for real right now. They literally look like they could be the poster children for mental health problems. Like if they was opening up a new state mental ward, they'd just have their picture up there. Grand opening of the state mental ward here in Greensboro. Let's see here. There's a lot of reports from DCS and investigators. There's lots of visits from outside agencies to support the overall wellness of their safety. Blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Let's see here. So it looks like Rebecca went to a college prep. It's called the Empower School. It looks like the founder of this school says that this is extraordinarily unjust. That while Rebecca was alive, her voice did not result in the protection that she needed. And so we're waiting to amplify that voice and make sure that there is justice. This is her school that is fighting for her. And fighting CPS. They're absolutely fighting against CPS as well. Do you not agree that CPS worker who visited that home 13 times and ignored the signs of abuse? Do you think she should not be prosecuted for that? Because I do. I think she should be prosecuted. I absolutely do. At the very least with misdemeanor charges and her license snatched. Like, she can't do social work anywhere else because she's a mandated reporter, and by law, it is literally her job to make sure that Rebecca was safe, and she failed to do so. So I just feel like she should be charged with a misdemeanor and no longer be able to practice social work. And if we can get laws on the books to prevent these social workers from ignoring these signs, then I assure you that these children dying, there won't be as many. There won't be as many. Human nature still stands, so it is what it is, You're going to have bad apples. Hey, Miss GT. Happy Saturday. Oh, I'm so sick of these technology problems, y'all. I really do. I really am so sick of these technology problems. Like, it's just every day. Like, I literally... Yeah, they need to be charged. Social workers should be charged anytime there's the death of a child that they were the lead caseworker on, especially when they ignored the signs 13 times. So it looks like when she was at home, even though she was only 10 years old, she was one of the primary caregivers of her two small younger brothers. The owner of the prep school said that this is a remarkable young lady. Amidst all of her suffering, she cared for her little brothers, and she was probably the most caring mother figure in the home. The school feels that Rebecca's voice was not heard when she was alive, so they have made it their mission to amplify it. They planted a tree in her honor to remember her life. It's really crazy. I do believe that the autopsy, that I heard the sheriff say that they had burned that child with cigarettes as well. I can't find it because, you know, the media doesn't media anymore. But I listened to the 911 call, and I think the most heartbreaking thing is to hear Alicia Woods on the phone, and she has no empathy or understanding. Like, she does not understand the gravity of the magnitude of the... Yeah, she doesn't understand the gravity of the situation. She's stone cold. She's like, I'm giving her CPR. She's like talking about this child like she didn't just raise this child for 3 or 4 years. She's talking about Rebecca like it's somebody she just walked up on and accidentally found dead on the ground. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I do wonder if drugs and alcohol were involved, because they look it. Both of them look like they may have had some substance abuse problems, but that could just be mental health. Both of them clearly have mental health problems, so that's not up for debate. Some people wear their ugly on the outside. It's a gift from God. It's like wild colors in the wild honey. He's saying, stay away. You know? I'm so done. Like, I'm so done. Damn computers won't work. Do you have Wi-Fi? They're like, yeah. You sure about that? I can't tell. Damn iPhone season out. iPhone season out. Y'all, it's hot outside. I'm already sunburnt as hell. Why is this one working but the Dell ain't? Make it make sense. How is this damn $150 computer working and the Dell ain't? I'm so sick of new stuff. All of my... First of all, how long have I had this? 5, 6 years? I don't even know. 5, 6 years. All of my old devices work. Let me tell you why. I've already figured it out. Because they were all made on those old towers. All of these new devices, we don't have the infrastructure for that. That 5G, we don't have the infrastructure for that. Riddle me this, Batman, because you're watching it. How is this crappy $150 computer that I bought 5, 6 years ago working, but this brand new Dell that I bought this year won't work on the Wi-Fi? I have the same problem with the phones. My new iPhone that you're on have problems on the Wi-Fi, but my old iPhone, it usually works on the Wi-Fi. Not to mention all the other phones that I had the other day. The other 2 phones that I had right here, y'all saw how these phones worked on the Wi-Fi. They immediately go to whatever you're looking for. If you go to Google, it doesn't even take any time to pull it up. It literally just shoots straight to it. But the new phones, they don't work like that. They take 30 seconds to pull something up, maybe even longer. You might actually have to set the phone down, walk away, go get you a glass of water, and come back and be like, damn, it's still loading. 5G phones. You know, I got so many phones in storage. We could try this and really see. I also have 2 other computers in storage. One's from 2013 and the other one's from 2017. We could literally hook all of these devices up on Wi-Fi, and I could show you what I'm talking about. It's crazy. We don't have the infrastructure. They're not prepared. They lied to us for money. I'm telling you. And when the shit falls out of the sky, I just hope when the satellites don't hit me. I don't think the satellites are going to fall out of the sky, but I do think that the grid will get, like the cell phone grid will go down eventually. I do. And they, you know what's crazy is that the Trump administration's already been on the news warning about this. Sure have. They said, beware. We're expecting mass power outages across the United States. We don't know when these power, what do they call it? What do they call it? Oh God, it's called something specific. I can't remember. It's essentially where the grid goes down and we ain't got no power, and it's crazy. Hey Felicia. Is that how you say that? My phone won't work fast enough. Yeah, it's very scary. I get stranded all the time. I'll get stranded all the time with no phone. Yo, ow. I want to talk about August Ames. This was that girl that I was trying to tell y'all about the other day, the porn star. And I keep getting interrupted. Every time I go to talk about her, I keep getting interrupted. The Wi-Fi messes up. My computer won't come up. It starts storming. Blackouts, mass blackouts. Thank you, Linda. Good morning. Wilson. Sorry, I had to. I'm such a dork. I love my Wilson soccer ball. I really do. That was one of my best friends for like 3.5 years. Hey, Christy. Good morning. Blackouts. Thank you, Miss GT. I see that now. Yeah, mass blackouts. Look, I talk all this stuff, and now this one ain't working. I can't win. Do you see my life? It was just working. I be thinking somebody's messing with me. Here it comes. Here it comes. At least this one's at least it pulled it up. The Dell ain't trying to pull up nothing. I be thinking like, how do I in my sight, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 devices and Wi-Fi, and nothing works. Do you know how frustrating that is? And when it's your job, it's your only job. It's the only job you can find. It's the only job that still exists. You ain't got to worry about being laid off. You know? All I want to do is make enough money to eat. My expectations are so low. And I still can't make it. Shit's so frustrating. It is. It's life. It's life. Welcome to the Hot Mess Express. Oh, Phoenix. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a great morning. Phoenix Sky. I like those little gifts. I wish they actually, when y'all sent them, I wish they stuck around for a little longer. It's not fair that you send them and then they disappear. I wish that I wish that it would stick around in the corner so people could see, who you are and the gift you sent. Thank you so much. Yeah. New idea, YouTube. Thank you for the 100. Oh, y'all, August Ames. This is a really sad case. And it's crazy because they say that I don't support the LGBTQ+, but I don't. Here's the thing. I support people having free will. If you want to go get married, whatever, to the same sex, that's your business. That's between you and God. Where I draw the line is when we start messing with children. because as it just so happens, I was falsely accused of child abuse. And so now it's my life's mission to talk about children and early childhood development and what we should really focus on, um, is which way we allow the LGBTQ plus to use children. They used children as a game. They were using children as a pawn. Sorry, there's so many branches of that in my mind that it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, that because the medical industry had their hand in it for their own reasons, money, and then the LGBTQ plus did it for, I guess, popularity, notoriety, to bring people into the community. There's so many branches in my mind, and I know that people say that I don't support the LGBTQ plus, but that's not technically true. I think old school gay people understand me. It's like, you know who Blair White is? They say that she doesn't support the LGBTQ plus, but she's a trans woman. She is the LGBTQ plus. It's crazy. It's just crazy. I do support people being happy and having free will. However, I draw the line at you using children as a pawn in a game to make money or to brainwash for propaganda and later votes or whatever. They're trying to overturn gay marriage. They are, and I don't agree with that. It's been set in stone for how long? Leave it alone. Why are you out here causing problems? We have real problems we need to be focused on. And this is just smoke and mirrors, just like the left did to us during the Biden administration. We had all of these problems like the open border, misuse of money, government money, taxpayer money. And they were always working on something that was unimportant. And so now we're seeing that on the right. We have bigger fish to fry. People are literally starving out here and they can't pay their bills. Like, they're one paycheck away from being homeless like me. And this administration is worried about overturning gay marriage. I think that it is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You're worried about that, but you're not worried about all of the children that were victimized by Epstein. You're not worried about arresting the people that were wrapped up in abusing children with Epstein. It's smoke and mirrors, and I'm just here to tell my followers that what you're witnessing is the same thing that the left did. They're not fixing shit. They're working for themselves, and you'll see. I know, I came here supporting Donald Trump, and a lot of my followers are mad at me because I no longer support this administration. I hate to break it to you, but over half of the MAGA movement does not support this administration. The MAGA movement has actually imploded. The only people that are still like MAGA, MAGA, MAGA are a lot of old heads and people who do not care to research the history of this administration, also the history of Donald Trump's relationship with Epstein, also the history of all of these parties involved that have ties to Israel. But maybe after 4 years of this big, beautiful bill, big, beautiful mess being made, maybe a lot of you guys will come around to where I'm at with this administration. I'm usually ahead of the curve. So it's no surprise. It's okay. You can hate me for now, but you'll love me in 4 years when you're like, damn, Brooke, why did you tell me to? Then you'll be like, why did you tell me to vote for him? I ain't heard that one yet. Like, not one person was like, well, you're the one that told us to vote for him. Why do you think I apologize? I have tremendous guilt, but the alternative was Kamala Harris. So, do we want a Marxist communist or do we want potentially a rapist? Let me tell you something. How many presidents have we had? I'd be willing to bet a good portion of them were sexual predators. Y'all just saw that news article from, like, back in the day, right? I read that to y'all. Let me show you again, because it was on the other one. This is why I say that, because it was in the culture back then to behave that way. That's part of the reason that Donald Trump behaved that way, because that culture spread into the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, where we have him on camera behaving this way. So it's no surprise. Don't be shocked by me saying, she said the presidents were perverts. Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, lust is one of our emotions. Lust is something that human, it's part of human nature. It is a sin. And people, men, have done a lot of evil things for some ass. And historically, it's been in the culture to disrespect women, treat women like crap, sell them off in the newspaper. This is crazy. Look at this. Before dating apps, women used newspaper ads to find distinguished noble men. Every time I read this, it really tickles me. Only daughter of a wealthy coffee planter will marry English nobleman or distinguished American if he's handsome and reasonably young. No French, no Italians, no Spaniards or Hebrews need apply. She has a warm heart, small feet, and beautiful teeth, and can dance all night. Literally selling off their daughters in the yellow pages over here. How creepy. Like, and they were young too. We're talking 13, 14, 15-year-old girls. Like, yeah. Anyways, so it would not be surprised if some of our presidents were perverts. Let's see. Let's Google it. Let's just take a go. Let's take a go. Which presidents were sexual predators? Which presidents were sexual? I swear to God, I'm so done. This is it. I'm getting a satellite dish. I'm hooking it to my back, and I'm calling Elon. Damn it. Which presidents were sexual I'll die if something comes up. Does anybody know of any? Does anybody know of any? Here we go. There actually is several articles. That's kind of weird. Come on, man. Just a girl looking for sales service. If you're ever wondering what I'm doing, I'm either running from a pervert for my life, or I'm looking for cell service at the top of a cell tower. I done climbed it. I was watching a thing on Monica. She's part of the Mossad, allegedly. Just like Ghislaine Maxwell's father. There's so many freaking ties. I've got to stay out of the political world. This is why I'm saying this, because we got a switch coming. If you haven't already noticed, it took place last week. So, I'm gearing in a whole different direction, and I'm so done with politics because I've learned my lesson. I'm extremely bothered by what I'm witnessing. And it's the same bullshit that I witnessed with the last administration. Neither one is better than the other. They're the same. Just like every sin is equal. They're out here doing the same shit. And only someone who has not done their proper fucking research on the Mossad would not realize this. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know them big girl words. There's so many links there. I literally watched this Monica Lewinsky documentary. Was that Wednesday that I didn't film that much? It was Wednesday. And yeah, apparently, allegedly, she was a plant, an incel for Israel. The documentary went over her and Bill's relationship, but I'm just so done. When you start tying all of these people together, you really start to see how all of this shit is planned out years in advance. It doesn't matter who we vote for, no matter which way we go, they'll have someone that's a plant not working for us. I'm so mad about this. This damn article will not come up. Hello, hey girl mom. Yeah, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. I really, I have a huge interest in politics because I have actual insight into how problems can be fixed, social problems. drug rehabs, the medical industry when it comes to the way that we care and treat drug addiction, um, mental health services, psychology. Like, I've been through it. The foster care system, I grew up in it, okay? Like, there's so many of these problems, like the broken foster care system, that I have insight into and how to fix it. Um, the problem is that the federal government doesn't want to fix any of those things. Those are the ways, those outlets are how the federal government makes money, and they keep people in line, and they collect data on people, and it's a way for them to keep up with people. They don't want to fix the foster care system. They don't want to fix homelessness. They don't want to fix addiction services. They don't want to fix mental health services. They need those people to be in a box because somebody's got to be on that side of the fence for them to make money. And that's the facts. So part of me pushing away from the political world is to refocus on what I know and how I can help people with my platform. I came to this platform wanting to learn about political matters, thinking that I could help people. But I've noticed and I've learned that the federal government does not want to help anyone. They need those people to be sick and unwell. It's how they steal money. It's how they make money. I do not know a lot about politics, and I've been clear from the start, but I also had a huge interest, and still do, and wanted to learn with you guys. But that's kind of impossible to do when what I learn the facts to be modern society, most people are not aware of. And so I don't want to I don't care to continue to learn about it. My efforts are being wasted on something that has been broken since it started. All of those systems, mental health services, addiction services, recovery services, the DOC, the Department of Corrections, the foster care system, they need those things to be broken in order to work properly for them. All of those things go hand in hand together. The foster care system is actually a gateway to the Department of Corrections. So, in order to generate income, they need the systems to be broken. My efforts trying to help people through politics is wasted. It will always be wasted because I don't know enough about politics. And honestly, I'm disgusted by the way that these political leaders, by the way that they act. Even some of my own favorite conservative commentators, I'm disgusted by recently because I realized that they were bought and paid for. I will always do what's right. I am not going to change who I am just to pull for a party. I work for God. So I'm not Do you get what I'm saying? I'm always going to do what's right. So I guess that's me not being part of the MAGA movement because clearly, you know. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a conservative, but I'm not affiliated with MAGA anymore. It's really disappointing to find out people are not who you thought they were. Yeah. You start looking into who everybody was trained by or trained under or worked with, like Peter, what's his name? Thiel? I'm not going to get started. All I'm going to say is on the right and on the left, these things are planned in advance, years out. People are picked for a specific position and purpose, and they will act accordingly or they will be missing. It's as simple as that. Do you want to be vice president? Do you want to be president? Like, they're bought and paid for. And the same thing goes for commentators, and I'm never going to be that commentator that says, oh, I support this just because. No, I'm going to go do research and find out what I need to know before And I wish I would have believed the victims to start with, because almost 30 victims. Are you kidding me? Don't get me started. Don't get me started. So, anyways, we need a new party. We need a revolution, like, legitimately, you know? Right and left, they're both corrupt, they're both paid for, they're both stealing, they're both crooks, they're both scam artists. We need a whole new party that is literally dedicated to the fucking mission and does not forget the mission. Because, once again, right and left, it's like Animal Farm playing out. Tell me I'm wrong. They forgot the mission. They work with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party will work together before they ever work for their own people. We need a party that is committed to working for the citizens of this country. We need a party that is fully committed to doing the honorable thing for the better good of everyone. I want to talk about this Mercedes. I think it's Grabowski. Grabowski. She was actually a porn star, y'all. It's really sad. She passed away. It's crazy because her death really goes to show how the internet and bullying, how detrimental it is to people's mental health, especially young people. I think I read that around 34% of teenage youths in society today say that they get bullied at school, 34%. So, that's like a good portion of them. It's not good at all. But also, I think that it said around 18% of them said that they were bullied through social media platforms like Snapchat. I don't know, what do kids use these days? Roblox? It also had video games on there. There was a subcategory of children that said that they were abused through Discord and video games like that. So it's just really crazy to think that your kid's playing with some strangers halfway across the world, and those kids are berating them, or even worse, trying to coerce them into harming themselves or someone else, because that's been a new crime in recent years. Sad. I mean, it's crazy. I saw one case where a woman had instructed a child, a boy, I would say probably about 7. This woman on the internet through a video game had instructed him to harm his baby sister, who was an infant. Crazy. So anyways, online bullying has become huge in recent years since social media platforms have taken off, and you guys have seen what I've been through. I've been through absolute hell. One of my stalkers was arrested yesterday, and it's just, I think that I think because people don't agree with what I have to say, they want to see harm come to me, which really goes to show how evil society is becoming. But not only that, a lack of empathy and compassion in these type of people. Self-hatred is related to miserable. So, and miserable is related to self-hatred. Miserability stems from self-hatred, is my point. And so, anyways, I just think that these things are going to get worse. I think that we need new laws on the books to protect people in content creation. Some of my favorite creators right now are not only getting sued, but they're literally getting bullied online. There's channels that have millions of followers that are currently going through some of the most dramatic drama, some of which is court legal based. Some of it is just slander and defamation against their channel. But it's really picked up this year, this online bullying, hate stuff. It's kind of crazy because I think that that's like the moment that I knew I made it. When you got people literally following you around town, taking videos of you to post online, bitch, that's the paparazzi. Thank God I didn't pull an '07 Britney and shave my head and fight them. Seriously, it's been that bad. So, I think it's going to get worse. When you have people out here literally trying to pick you apart as you are trying to do your job, and then they're coming after your channel, saying lies, spreading, slander, defamation. I've seen so many content creators going through this year, and a lot of people say that it's a YouTube thing. They say that it's not like that on TikTok. They say that there's not like that on Instagram and Facebook and all of these other social media platforms. There's not as much hate. There's other content creators that I've spoken to that have told me, over here I don't get hate, but here I do. So it's definitely a YouTube thing. You face the most hate and slander and defamation on YouTube. But it's really crazy to me how there are content creators that have millions of followers that I've never seen wrapped up in drama. All of a sudden, they're wrapped up in drama. And it's because people genuinely hate themselves in their lives. They have nothing better to do. I read an article this morning that women are leaving the workforce and they're going to be stay-at-home moms now. So just get ready for shit to get even wilder, because all they're going to have to do is take the kids to school, pick them up, and then get on Facebook. Seriously. Never have I ever even been part of a Facebook chat group. Not once. I have a life. I don't have time. You know what I do love? I like to go stir the pot and then give it 2 weeks and then come back and see who's being fake and pop in like, hey, bitches. Like, it's really crazy out here. Letting their children be raised by the internet. Amen. And we're seeing the side effects of that now. We absolutely are. The disrespect, the way that children are getting into violent crimes. I've seen some crazy stuff. Saw a 12-year-old that raped a 91-year-old woman. Saw another 13-year-old that shot and killed both of his parents as they slept. It's really getting crazy out here. Historically, we've seen children be violent. Remember the little freckled kid from the 80s or 90s that killed another kid, that little freckled boy? I think they just let him out of prison too, by the way. Hold on, I'll tell you. We ain't seen it in this quantity. Oh, it finally came up. We ain't seen it in this quantity, though. The kids out here behaving like this. This is past that. Who was the freckled face killer kid? Oh, I'm so sick of this. Who was the freckled face killing child? This is crazy. Was his name Eric or something? Eric Smith. Yeah, and he just got out of prison, I do believe. He killed a 4-year-old, Derek Joseph Robbie, in New York back in 93. He was granted parole in 2022. So he's out on the streets now. That's a whole case that I need to really look into, because that's kind of crazy. I would like to do look into his upbringing and stuff and see, let's see here. So the question was, back to perverted presidents potentially, the PPPs. Which president has been accused of being a sexual predator? Let's see. He looked like a problem child. Yeah. Eric Smith was his name. I would like to go into his history and look into that case. So he was a child that killed a 4-year-old, and he's been in prison since the 90s. I would have to really look into everything, his history in prison, how he behaved as an inmate, his upbringing, why psychologists think he even killed that child. If anybody knows anything on it, please drop it in the comments, because I am so curious. So curious. Let's see. Oh, so it looks like most of the presidents have been... God dang. I don't want to be part of this world. It looks like most of them have been accused of some form of sexual assault or molestation. Okay. Hmm. Grover Cleveland also faced allegations of rape and questionable marriage to a younger woman. Ah. It also said Grant and London. Was it Landon or London B. Johnson? Prisons. Listen, I be having those days where I say the same thing, Anime King. Listen, part of the reason I'm like trying not to be out in them streets today is because I have a mental health disorder. It's called premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And I start to rage, man. I start to rage and I'm already homeless. Like, so days like today where I just don't want a life, you come at me the wrong way. And jail does look better than sleeping on concrete. Hell, at least in jail, they'll give me that little thin mat. It's a little bit better. I mean, you know what? I really thought that, like, jail was the worst place. This is going to be mind blowing. You would think that the worst place you could ever end up is jail, right? I'm here to tell you that being homeless is far worse than jail. Yeah. I mean, at least in jail, you have a mat, you got a toilet, you can take a shower, you can make a phone call. You got 3 hots and a cot. You ain't got that on the street. You got cold concrete, wet grass. You ain't never lied, Anime King. I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome. Nice to meet you. It do be like that some days. They let that crazy girl out. You's lying. Oh my God, Jean Ann. Lord have mercy. I'm over here talking about perverted presidents, and we got real business. We got real business. You kidding me? Morgan. What was that little girl's name? Oh, God. I can't speak to talk anyways. It won't work. Morgan, was it Geyser? Slender Man stabbing. So let me tell y'all about this case. So these little girls, there was 3 little girls. They would do little sleepovers together. And here it is. On May 31st of 2014 in Wisconsin. Is that Waukesha? Waukesha, Wisconsin. I'm rolling with it. So Ananice E. and Morgan Geyser. So is Morgan Geyser the one they let out? I'm gonna figure it out. Hold on, I'm supposed to be Morgan. Yeah, I don't know. That you know what's crazy? Yeah, that's why I was talking about that freckle face killer, because a lot of the times, if we can get these juveniles behind bars soon enough, they actually don't reoffend again if the conditions are proper. I don't. The younger the offender, and the more resources they have outside of family, like family support, the less chance of reoffending. It's when they go in and they flip flop out. Y'all, one of these days I'm gonna learn how to talk and explain what I'm trying to say. It's like drug users. The older they are when they start using, the higher the chance of recovery. The younger of the start of use of drugs, the less likely chance of recovery. There's a psychology behind children offenders and reform that I can't put into words because I'm too stupid. Jesus, can you make me smarter? Because I can't try no harder. And I got that like premenstrual fog going on too, where you can't think. You're just like CRS. So let me start at the beginning of this case. So the 2 perpetrators in this case are actually teenage girls who was best friends with this child. Let me find her name. Their parents had dropped them off, or they had went on this walk, and pretty much 2 of the girls turned on one of the girls and they said, let's go on 3. I'll never forget it. These 2 girls had made a pact to take their best friend out in the woods and stab her to death. And they did that. And by the grace of God, some cyclist who was on a cycle trail saw this poor child literally army crawling. I'm trying to get this up. She was army crawling out of the woods. I'm getting chill bumps, y'all. First of all, I saw the victim's entire family talk about this case. This case, it affected the family, and it still affects the family. You can tell that the mother and father are absolutely terrified of letting this child out of their sight now. I mean, who would think that your daughter's best friends, their teenage best friends, would take them in the woods and do something like this? I mean, it's unfathomable. So it looks like this happened back in May of 2014. Anissa and Morgan lured their friend Peyton into the wooded area of a local park and stabbed her 19 times to appease the fictional supernatural character Slender Man and to prove that he was real. They were all 12 years old at the time. Peyton survived the attack after being found by a cyclist. You know, I do not believe that these girls thought that they were doing this killing to prove that this fictional character was real. I don't believe that. It's buffoonery. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. During their interrogations, Geyser was described as displaying no empathy. And is it weird? I don't know how to say her last name, y'all. Geyser had no empathy, and the other one said she displayed her guilt for stabbing her friend, although both stated that the attack was necessary. I've watched these interviews. That Morgan Geyser is so cold. What really stands out to me is how articulate these two perpetrators were. So they are extremely articulate. You can tell that both of them are manipulative in the surveillance footage, interrogation footage. Morgan Geyser specifically is very cunning. She is very, very, very cunning. Complete lack of remorse, empathy. And her wording is very calculated. I do not believe for a moment that someone of her intelligence at 12 did not know that Slender Man was not real. You can watch those interrogation videos on YouTube. I've seen them over and over since this case happened, back when Peyton was stabbed. This case is really disturbing because of these children's age and because of how bizarre and out of nowhere the level of betrayal to be literally stabbed in the back by your best friends. This is the type of behavior that creates PTSD. This is the level of betrayal that creates PTSD. I have no doubt that Peyton probably, if she has any friends at all, she has extremely hard times trying to trust anyone new. She's probably extremely close with her immediate family, and that's it. And she probably lives a pretty isolated life. I know that she has said that she wants to go into medicine after this situation, after they rushed Peyton to the hospital, and she went into surgeries. She had 19 stab wounds. She was, in the hospital for a while. After she left the hospital, she said in an interview that she wants to go into medicine because she wants to help people because of the people that saved her life at the hospital. For a child to go through something like that and then to turn around and say that she wants to use her experience to help others, God protected her that day. So back in 2017, both of these little heathens were found not guilty by mental disease or defect. They were both committed to a mental institution where one of them was sentenced, what is her name? Y'all, I wish I could say these last names. I always just, Annalise. Is that how you say it? Annalise. Annalise received a sentence of 25 years to life, and Geyser was sentenced to 40 years to life. Annalise was released in 2021 to live with her father, and Geyser is due to be released in 25 to live in a group home and will be under supervision until 2058. So they never saw a day in jail. Let me just tell you, because I've been in both. The state mental ward is a much cushionier stay than the jail. So they've had a, a, a luxury prison ride, okay, with good food and nice beds, and they've been in a state mental ward since 2017. It's not even 2027, and they're already both out on the streets. Oh, and let's not forget that they were found not guilty by reason of insanity. If you ask me, this whole damn case is insanity. But what do I know? What do I know? Nothing. It's absolutely unbelievable. Thank you for bringing that up. Jean Ann, thank you so much for bringing that up, because I saw that Geyser was due to get out, but they had to go through the court to see if they could let her out. And I don't know. Will they reoffend? I don't know. I really don't know. It says she's going to a group home. Girl mom 08, they knew she was different and tried to kill her spirit because she wasn't like them. I have to agree there. I think that they were probably jealous of her. If you look at Peyton in comparison to Morgan and Annalise, they were very different children. And they also had different upbringings. I don't remember their family back. Oh God, I'm just so done with technology today. I don't remember. Hold on one second. Also, Morgan Geyser and Peyton, who was the victim, were also childhood best friends. Y'all know how, y'all remember when we was in school and you'd be best friends with somebody for a while, and then a new kid would come, and then your friend would get jealous that you... I'm wondering if Annalise felt some type of way, you know? There could be motive there. Like, they would later befriend Annalise, who would become particularly close to Geyser due to them living in the same apartment building and having shared interest in creepypasta, including the popular fictional supernatural character Slender Man. While Peyton found these things horrifying. So Morgan and Annalise actually had a shared interest in these creepypastas. Peyton thought that they were horrifying. I mean, I'm just reading this, I'm sensing some kind of rivalry or like some jealousy, or like, you know how kids are too. These are 12-year-old girls. So you know that insecurity and self-doubt and gossiping and drama is just like, you know, the highlights of teenage years sometimes. So kids go through a hard time when they go through puberty. Yeah, it says as their interest in Slender Man grew, Geyser and Annalise both believed he was real. I don't believe that. Does anybody believe that? Does anybody believe that these two 12-year-old girls who were so smart and articulate, that they did not know that this Slender Man was fake? I don't believe it. Hey, Kimberly. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I don't believe it at all. I wish this computer would work. I just, you know, I don't understand. I don't understand. Jesus Christ. So it looks like they were playing a game of hide and seek when Geyser and Winter pinned down Lutner and stabbed her 19 times in the arms, legs, and torso with a 5-inch long blade. 2 wounds were major organs. 1 stab wound missed a major artery by less than a millimeter, and another went through her diaphragm, cutting into her liver and stomach. Ain't that crazy? Surgeons operated for 6 hours to repair critical trauma to arteries and tissue in her torso and abdomen. If the knife had gone within a width of a human hair feather, she wouldn't have lived. She was left in the hospital 7 days after the attack. Jesus Christ. She later revealed in 2019 that she sleeps with broken scissors in fear of being attacked again. What did I say? PTSD. She has lingering trauma from the attack. 5 hours after the attack, the two girls were apprehended by the police near a furniture store, approximately 5 miles from the attack location. They were in possession of the knife used in the stabbing. I mean, they're children. Of course, they're going to be making mistakes, but it's crazy. Yeah, I definitely think it was premeditated too. I mean, they took the knife to the park. They were planning on doing that. They had talked about doing it. Hey, Angie. Cleaning time. Yeah, definitely take a break. Saturday's the best day for that. Hello. Hey, Oscar. Hmm. Morgan Geyser was diagnosed with early onset childhood schizophrenia. So you let her out of jail 50 years before she's supposed to be let out? I mean, they're literally just letting all these psychos out of jail like it's nothing. Ghislaine Maxwell, they're going to pardon her more than likely. I mean, it's crazy. Monopoly Go. Is that on the, is that like on the Switch? I kind of wish I had an old Game Boy, y'all. You know, the old Game Boy that had the Mario and like Donkey Kong and stuff on it? Pokemon Go. The original Nintendo. I wish I could find one of those. Hello, Michael. Yeah, neither one of them should have got out of jail. It don't make no sense. I mean, she looks insane. Morgan Geyser. My toes are cold. Oh, yeah, the result. Mm. Yeah, I don't know about Eric Smith, y'all. I mean, he does have a major history. The freckled face killer from 1993. He has, it's in his family history that he was not only bullied almost every day, but he was berated and spanked. And apparently, the abuse was so bad that it caused him to have mental health problems. I'm not making an excuse for his actions because he assaulted and killed a child as a child. But I'm here to tell you that this type of behavior stems from being exposed to this type of behavior. Like, most pedophiles were, most predators were sexually abused themselves. It's learned behavior, it's passed down. I do wonder if Eric has ever said that he was abused, because what he done to that 4-year-old victim, he had to have learned somewhere. Eric Smith. Yeah, they let him out too. Yeah, he absolutely did. But it also said that his dad beat the hell out of him too. He went to the parole board 11 times before they let him out. I just don't agree with some of these people being let out. He's one of them. A lot of this I can't even read, y'all. How old was he at the time? How old was Eric Smith when he murdered? He was 13 years old, so he was you know, teenager, he was going through, yeah, the change. I do think that even the physical beatings and physical abuse that he was subjected to would be enough to cause a child to behave this way towards another child. Absolutely. This is part of the reason that I talk about these things. The physical aspect, the physical abuse that he was subjected to, and then the psychological torture in his own home has a propensity to create psychopaths. Eric Smith, it appears from his own history, Eric Smith is one of those children that was beat and abused so much he became an abuser and murderer himself. And it only took 13 years of abuse in his own home by his own relatives to breed that level of psychopath. I mean, he didn't just kill poor little Derek. He abused Derek. He beat his head in with a rock. He stuck sticks in his eyeballs. He sexually abused him. You're absolutely right, Girl Mom 08. It was absolutely torture. It's the same thing that they did to my friend Tiffany Long. They absolutely, Eric Smith tortured Derek, okay? It would have been a very painful death. He learned that behavior from somewhere. His upbringing bred the psycho inside of him. This is why I talk about these things, because people do not understand how these types of people are created. Eric Smith's upbringing shows us how they're created. Not to mention other people like the Night Stalker. He also was heavily abused. Early childhood development is to ensure that adults are healthy. When their upbringings are traumatic, they're getting physically abused, psychologically abused by people that are their caretakers who are supposed to love them, but instead they hurt them. This is how psychopaths are born. This is how narcissists are breeded. In my opinion, Eric Smith probably also, in my opinion, he had sexual abuse. In my opinion, he was sexually abused. His crime tells a story of his past. For a 13-year-old boy to do what he did to Derek, who was only 4 years old, in my opinion, there was a history of sexual abuse in Eric Smith's past that he's yet to reveal to the public. Just like the Mendez brothers, sometimes, men, men usually do not report those types of crimes. Let me be clear. They're the last ones that usually report sex crimes, molestation, incest, stuff like that. But even the Mendez brothers, who I believe were absolutely abused, but I do not believe should be free. And it's okay if you disagree with me on that, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, they should be freed. A lot of us were sexually abused as children. We didn't kill our parents. I was sexually abused by every father figure I ever had. So, it took them forever to come out and talk about the abuse that they were subjected to, and, if Eric Smith was in fact sexually abused, like he was physically abused and psychologically abused, and then that's a clear, answer as to why he committed this type of crime, especially in his teen years. It makes perfect sense in my mind. Yeah, it's a horrible case. I don't think he should be free, just like I don't think Morgan Geyser should be free. How is it that people like that are actual criminals who have, took accountability and said, oh, yeah, we're guilty, we did this, how do they slip through the cracks? And then people like me who are innocent are just re victimized for a crime they didn't even commit. It's so frustrating. It really is. It's so frustrating. Oh. Yeah, I think that he intentionally did this crime, I think he's got some cross wiring going on. I wonder if he'll be in trouble. Him and Morgan. I mean, I don't understand the court system anymore, y'all. I've just come, these things are kind of like the political spectrum, too. They're just like, it's all politics. The court systems are politics. 100%. 100%. Hey, Israel. That's how it is. That's why I talk about these things. I literally have insight into like anything that deals with stuff like this. Like, I've lived it. I've absolutely lived it. And I wonder if that was his stepdad. The reason I wonder if that was his stepdad, because if it was his stepdad, then the chances of sexual abuse from a secondary father go up about 15%. So biological fathers typically molest their biological daughters at about 2%. And secondary fathers, which is a foster father, or a stepfather, or just a boyfriend, it's about 17%, which is sickening. So I wonder if this was Eric's bio father, or if it was his stepdad. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to drop no bows on nobody and murder nobody. I be trying so hard. So hard. No, I don't. The Darian Brown case. I don't know that one. The only reason I know these two cases is because I learned about them like before I started. I used to actually really be into true crime. Like before I started my channel, I was obsessed with true crime for like 30 years. And then when I started my channel, I leaned more into politics because that's my area of interest now. Like, I'm like, oh God, we got to fix this shit. It's like I grew up and it's like, okay, these cold cases are cool and all, but like, I mean, sad and all. You know what I mean? My interest. But we really need to gear ourselves in a different direction to like help people and like be able to fix this mess out here because nothing's getting better. And now I've 2 years later, I recognize that everything's broken intentionally. The federal government needs all of these systems to be broken in order to profit the most. So now I'm just like, I'm done. Fit for society. They ain't done nothing, neither one of them. They've been sitting on their asses in prison for years. This literally has nothing. Nothing. And I still haven't talked about August. I'm gonna do that. Susan Smith. I know, crazy. She'll never get paroled, I hope. Hello, Nicholas. I hope you're doing well. Maria. Good morning. Afternoon. So this girl was actually a porn star. And her name, she went by August Ames. And she actually, I think, passed away around 2017. Hold on one second. 2017 at the age of 23 years old. She was super young, had her whole life ahead of her. Her biological name was Mercedes Grabowski. I try so hard. And So let me just start with, I'm going to call her by August because that's what she went by. She was actually born in 94, and she grew up in Canada, Ontario, and she later moved to Colorado Springs. Both of her parents were in the Army, and she spent her early years as a military brat, including a number of years living beside Canadian Forces Base Petawawa. Lord have mercy. Can we just not name stuff normal stuff? So, as it turns out, August was routinely sexually abused as a child, and this is the primary reason that I want to talk about this case, because that is the reason that she ended up in sex work, which is so common. I would be curious to know how many sex workers. Let's see. %90. Between 66 and 90% of women in the sex industry were sexually abused as children. One study found that 60% of street prostitutes were sexually exploited as juveniles. Another study revealed that nearly all sex workers surveyed reported experiencing some form of childhood abuse and neglect. 73% reported physical abuse, 32.4% sexual abuse, 86.8% emotional abuse, 84.5% physical neglect, and 93% emotional neglect. Childhood sexual abuse can be a strong predictor of future exploitation. The lack of a caring adult or a supportive family environment can increase the vulnerability to sex trafficking. Early sexual initiation, particularly if forced or exploitative, can also be a risk factor for entering sex work. All right. So, Mercedes, August, she said that she was routinely sexually abused by her grandfather, her paternal grandfather, as a child, and that her father refused to believe her, and she was sent to live in a group home at 12 years old. This reminds me of that case, I think it was Arizona a few weeks ago, of the child that was found dead. And yeah, she was R-worded on a native tribe land, and she called the sheriff and reported this sexual assault. And instead of them arresting the perpetrator that sexually assaulted her, they took her and put her in a group home. They took her away from CPS, took her away from her family, and they placed the child elsewhere as further punishment. Let me just be clear. That was punishment for her reporting her sexual assault. It's crazy. Statistics are absolutely heartbreaking. Absolutely. Let's see here. I just find it interesting that also in August's case, when she was a child and she reported the abuse, the state felt like the best thing to do was to come in and once again remove this child out of her home and to put her in a group home instead of arresting the grandfather that was sexually abusing her. This is a very common thing through Child Protective Services. They often protect the predator and ignore the victim. These are not isolated incidents. This is daily life working for CPS. It's sad. She also spoke of being enticed to strip by an adult male as a young teenager in exchange for drugs. She ended up studying in culinary arts for a year after graduating from high school. Prior to her adult film career, she worked as a nanny and an animal assisted aide and a horseback trainer. This was her. She was only 23 years of age, and yeah, it's really sad. So she appeared in more than 100 films, including non-pornographic films, in 2016, and was nominated for several AVN awards. With a self-disclosed history of sexual abuse and mental illness, she died by suicide in 2017 after social media backlash following a tweet that she posted due to some perceiving the tweet as homophobic. This is crazy. This girl died for nothing. So it looks like her career as a porn star actually began at the age of 19, and once again, she was only 23 when she passed away. So, and that started in 2013. so sick of these problems. Yo, my phone's not working. Sorry. Good afternoon. Sorry. I'm on Wi-Fi. So weeks prior to her death, she said that she had a history of bipolar disorder and DID, which is dissociative identity disorder. And she talked about how some days she'll be fine, and if I'm not doing anything, I'll get these awful flashbacks of my childhood, and I get very depressed, and I can't get out of bed, and I have to cancel my scenes for like a week or two. So pretty much what she said, let me tell you hello, good afternoon. Let me tell you what caused her death. So essentially, August, who was a porn star, tweeted out, quote, whichever lady performer is replacing me tomorrow for Erotica X News, you're shooting with a guy who has shot gay porn before, just to let you know. It's BS is all I can say. Do agents really not care about who they're representing? Hashtag LA Direct, I do my homework for my body. So essentially what happened was she had been scheduled to perform a pornographic movie with a man who was a known gay man who did gay porn. And this was a problem for her because, well, she has self-respect and she doesn't want AIDS. They do not have a proper way to test these people for AIDS before these photo shoots. This is why it gets passed around like it does. Also, HPV and herpes. Those take specific tests as well. Gonorrhea, syphilis, stuff like that. It's, you know, they're also different tests, but gonorrhea and chlamydia are easily tested for, okay? And that's what they test these adult stars for before they go to these photo shoots. But there's so many problems with this, and if you've been here a while, then you know that I've actually been to LA and that what do you call it? They were trying to contract me for porn. What do you call it? What do you call it when you go and you visit agencies to see which agency is going to give you the best deal? Whatever that is. So back in 2014, I went out to talk to agencies about porn, and one of the first things I noticed was how unsafe, how dumb and unsafe everything was. There's no proper way to test these adult stars. There's no proper way. People like Bonnie Blue, Lily Phillips, they're covered in STDs. Covered. Do you hear me? Have to be. There's no way that there's not, especially when the CDC has warnings out for these specific things like HPV, gonorrhea, herpelitis. Honey, I don't know. Pretty much, she did not want to shoot porn with a man that could have AIDS or HIV. And because there's not a specific, it's not part of the standardized testing that it comes with testing these stars, she doesn't want to shoot a movie with a man, okay, that has shot gay porn. She tweeted this. The tweet drew criticism and abuse from social media users. She, who was bisexual, defended her right to exercise her sexual anonymity, in a subsequent tweet. Pretty much, the whole LGBTQ community come after her. They bullied her, like, literally nonstop. And 2 days later, she was found dead hanging. So, because of the fact that she wanted to protect her rights, protect her body, and not put herself in a bad situation, and she was warning other porn stars about the unsafe business practices of these agencies, and she was berated and bullied. And this was back in 2017. So, you know, that was really before things got crazy. That was like the start. Well, that was like the start of everything getting crazy, especially with the LGBTQ+. So it's crazy. Let me be clear. So when they test you for STDs, what they're testing for in these settings with these porn companies. They send you into a medical office from the agency. They'll have you an appointment. And this might be scheduled out for 2 weeks before you're due to shoot a porn. This is the problem. Do you know how many people get tested and then go have a one night stand before they're scheduled to actually shoot film? Most. Most. The potential for picking up an STD between that 2 week testing cycle is more probable than not when you have people out here just giving it away like it's a plate of food from grandma's cookout. I know sharing is caring, but not them parts, honey. No. Those stay under lock and key. Have some self-respect. Have some couth. Okay? Pretty much the online berating, bullying led to her hanging herself, which is absolutely horrific. On December 5th of 2017, 2 days after her tweet, she was found dead in a park in California at the age of 23. Her death was ruled a suicide due to asphyxia by hanging. Upon autopsy, toxicology reports revealed that she had cocaine, marijuana, and antidepressant Zoloft and Xanax in her system at the time of death. Do you know how many women's autopsies I've read and there's Xanax in their systems? I mean, that needs to be like a whole study in itself. How many of the women that have committed suicide, what percentage were on Xanax when they committed suicide? Because I'm willing to bet it's a large portion. I've personally knew of somebody that died and it was under the same circumstances. So, and we all know I caught my felony charges at 18 years old. I was on Xanax. So, I'm telling you, it's one of the worst drugs. Close friends blame the cyberbullying for her suicide. Her final tweet before suicide had the words, "Fuck y'all." My kind of girl. Some pointed to a demand. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Conspiracy, conspiracy, conspiracy. So it looks like after the cyberbullying started, she started having marital problems, social isolation, and then, her mental health problems started to spiral. And then she got into substance abuse, and then she started reliving all of the trauma all over a damn tweet. And, she did nothing wrong. She did the right thing in this situation. These agencies clearly do not test these people like they're supposed to. And that's why these STDs are skyrocketing. And she literally was trying to warn other girls that men who shot gay porn, who are highly, they're more probable of getting AIDS than any other group of people. Let me be clear. Well, actually, gay men. So I was right. I didn't know if it was African American women or gay men. I knew it was one of the two. So in the United States, men who have had sex with men, particularly gay and bisexual men, are the population most affected by HIV. While HIV affects all races and ethnicities, certain groups are disproportionately impacted, with Black, African American, and Hispanic Latino individuals experiencing high rates of infection. And there's reasons for that, but yeah, so she was pretty much sending out an SOS to other porn stars, letting them know that the agency was booking gay men with porn stars who did not know that they were going to be shooting with gay men. And the probability of those men who shoot gay porn of having HIV are much higher than straight heterosexual men. And so she did nothing wrong. She exposed a dirty agency in a dirty world. You will never find the light at the end of the tunnel in sex work. It does not exist. It does not exist. And that's why I hate people like Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, because, well, actually, Lily, I have a little more empathy for her. The main reason is because I know for a fact she doesn't want to be living that. She doesn't want to be performing. She doesn't want to be selling her body. She doesn't want to be treated like a cash cow. She doesn't want to be played out and pimped out by her own family. You know how I know? Because she cried. She cried after she screwed all them men. She come out of the room and the first thing she did was cry. So I have a little more empathy for Lily, because Lily will be the one. How old is she? Like 20? Lily will be the one that pops out in 15 years saying the same shit I'm saying. There's hope for Lily. Bonnie, that bitch ain't got no soul. And she's horrible. She's detrimental to society. I mean, does anybody want their young daughter looking up to somebody like that? Then why does she exist? Why do we need someone in that position if it's worthless, if it's pointless? Why don't they cancel people like that? I'll tell you why. Because people like that make them money. Sex sells. Long. Long. Tiffany Long. Yeah, so August, you know, she had a really rough childhood. And then statistically, on par, she falls in to becoming a porn star. And then she exposes the industry and how they treat people and how they have a lack of respect for these women's health. And then the internet was so cruel, and it really affected her mental health problems. She had major mental health problems. You know, that DID is nothing to play with. The bipolar disorder, and then the bullying just really was the cherry on top. And I do believe that Xanax contributed to her death. She probably did not know that she took her own life, because that's what happens with Xanax. So like when I got into my physical altercation and caught my felony charges, I don't remember any of it. There's nothing there, because that's what Xanax does. Just like my ex's girlfriend that hung herself, Xanax in the system. There's a good chance that both of them do not know that they were killing themselves. And that's what's so scary about Xanax, is that you can be in a mood and you take the pill and then you off yourself without even knowing that you're offing yourself, because you're in a bout of blackout. Does that make sense? I'll always wonder if August was conscious of her death at the time she took her life. Part of me hopes that she was conscious, because like then that's like a solid decision that she made, and then the other half of me is like, she clearly was struggling. Maybe it really bothers me that society will take it that far, but we see that these things are actually getting worse. I mean, look at the amount of online bullying and gang stalking and stuff that goes on. Like online bullying, like it's like gang bullying. Like people will jump in to the comment section saying the most awful things here on Facebook. And that behavior is going to get worse, because now we have children that have been raised by cell phones, like Girl Mom 08 said, children that have been raised by cell phones out here. Now they're adults. And they're adults that are little bullies running around with keyboards in their pockets, getting pleasure off of trying to inflict harm on other people. Getting pleasure, that is the definition of a narcissist. Let me be clear. To intentionally inflict harm. It's so sad that August died. She didn't deserve it. None of it. And, you know, she didn't say anything transphobic or, you know, what do they call it? Is that what they call it? Homophobic or whatever. I don't even know how to say them words. She did nothing wrong. It's really crazy. I feel bad for her. Coming around bullying. So here, I'll tell you about Tiffany, because I've talked about her before. It really bothers me. I think I was about 10 years old when she was killed. So we used to meet up at the Rollabout skating ring. She was a friend from the area. We went to the Rollabout skating ring in Burlington. And, you know, we weren't super close, but I do remember Tiffany. I remember Tiffany being kind of a loner. Like, she would be at the skating ring and there wouldn't be many people. Like, I didn't see any family with her. So it looked like her family would just drop her off at random locations. And so she was sexually assaulted and brutally murdered by 3 of her childhood friends in my hometown of Alamance County. They got her out into the woods and they physically sexually tortured her and killed her and left her body in the woods. There was 3 people that was responsible for this murder, all of which were teenagers. Tiffany Long was her name. Let me see what I can find because I don't know what's readily available online. I'm just telling you from what I remember from my childhood. When she went missing, or when she was found dead, I remember my parents telling me about her being killed. They never told me that she was sexually assaulted. They never told me the details of the case. I just want to I'm trying to word this the right way. I just want to be clear that they went beyond brutalizing her. They were using inanimate objects to assault her in various ways. They literally tortured this child. Tortured her in every way imaginable. These people they never need to be let out of prison. And before I get started, if I find out that one of these fuckers have gotten out of the prison, y'all, I might actually have a mental breakdown, okay? They were all, and the reason I say that is because of Morgan Geyser and Eric Smith. They were supposed to spend life, okay? Poor Peyton, her stitches ain't even healed. She was just stabbed in 2017, and then them girls are already out of jail. It's crazy. So that's why I say these people allegedly, from my recollection, got life indefinitely with no chance of parole, all 3 of them. And one of the individuals that was charged with Tiffany's murder did have some kind of mental handicap, which is kind of crazy. Think about a disabled person killing somebody. That's in fact what happened. Now, I do believe that there was a little bit of teenage social pressure involved with that disabled, handicapped, mentally, and it's mild retardation. One of the perpetrators that killed Tiffany Long, they were diagnosed with like a mild form of mental retardation. And so I do believe that person still should be behind bars because they're easily convinced to do really deadly shit. Anyways, let's see here. Oh, and they were actually seeking the death sentence. So I have the court records up from like the 90s. The prosecution intends to seek the death sentence against Dorothy B-Y-N-U-M for a crime that she is accused of committing when she was 17 years old, 17 years old and 3 months. Hold on one second. International law forbids the use of the death penalty for crimes committed by under 18 years old. I think we need to change that. Listen. I think we need to change that. Maybe it'll be an incentive for these little damn 17-year-olds to act right. Dorothea Bynum. Her name is spelled D-O-R-T-H-I-A. Last name B-Y-N-U-M. Is charged with kidnapping, sexual assault, and the murder of 10-year-old Tiffany Nicole Long. On October 17th of 1998, Dorothea, her boyfriend, and his nephew, respectively age 16 and 13 at the time, are facing the same charges. So it was Dorothy, her boyfriend, and his nephew. I never knew these details. First of all, I didn't realize I was going to have this visceral reaction. But I didn't know the details. I just knew that it was 3 of them. So Dorothy and 2 men. So it's a girl and 2 guys that talk 10-year-old Tiffany into the woods. And it looks like this is going to have maybe some of the details, but I know half of them I won't be able to read because I remember. Wait a second, that's all it told me. Hold on. It's an absolute. They would not, absolutely, Kimberly. Most of these pack murders and these pack attacks, like that racist attack that we saw out of Cincinnati with the lady from the UK or Russia. Imagine going to another country to visit for vacation and then you get knocked out and become a celebrity overnight, but in a horrible way. Those people would not be attacking people like that if it was solely them. Just like these murders, like the Morgan Geyser and the Anicia, they wouldn't have done that if it was just them. It was only, there's power in numbers. And yeah, these crimes are going to get worse. There's power in numbers, and bullies know that, and they use that to their advantage, and killers do too. Yeah, no, I don't think most of them would have acted alone. Sorry, this is not wanting to come up. I don't. What about you? I don't think they would act alone. They'd probably still have that evil intent inside of them and probably do some crazy stuff, but what did you say, girl mom? Hold on. Yeah, their blood ain't even dry and they keep letting them out. Come on, man. Work for me. Work for me. Yeah, I remember when Tiffany died. I mean, my parents were like a freaking mess. I mean, it was like, it was a big deal to have someone, a child, that young, yoked off the street and murdered so brutally. They didn't know. I mean, I'm sure they didn't know. The whole community was just in shock over this girl being murdered. And back then, I don't remember there being a race war over this situation either. That really goes to show that there, that racism was kind of completely disappearing in the 90s, because this was a white girl that was killed by 3 black people and in the South, and there was no race war over this situation. Everybody, from what I remember, both communities, races that were involved, both parties, everybody was to the understanding that what had taken place was not only evil, but Tiffany did not deserve it. And I think it would be different nowadays because of the way that COVID, with COVID came the growth of racism, in my opinion. Those problems got worse after COVID with the whole George Floyd thing and all of the riots and stuff, in my opinion. Prior to like COVID, I don't remember I do remember still. I just feel like in the past 10 years, it's gotten worse. I'm sorry. I'm not worth a damn because my Wi-Fi ain't worth a damn. Yeah, I don't remember a lot of like race bullshit growing up. I don't. 90s, early 2000s, don't remember. And I grew up in the South in a primarily white school, and then in high school I switched to an all black school. You would have thought they would have gave my little country ass hell. They really didn't. I mean, and what hell that they did give me was it was like endearment. It's like, we're joking with you because you're one of us. It wasn't like we're joking with you because you're not. If this phone don't work, I want to read about this. I'm sorry. I really want to know about this case, because when I started reading that and I read 1998, it really hit me hard. I would have been 8, 9, 10. I would have been exactly 11 years old. So I was like 6 months older than Tiffany when she lost her life. This was a huge thing that happened in not only my hometown, but my home. I remember how my parents, they were already so strict and helicopter parents anyways. Like, we could never go anywhere, stay anywhere, and never had sleepovers, never had friends over. After Tiffany died, they were even more restrictive. And they would always say, there's horrible people. They'll kill you. They'll kidnap you. Da 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 da. I mean, they were always beating that in my head. And I think a lot of that probably stemmed from being sexually abused already as a child. Once you've already had a child that's been abused, you're going to be a helicopter parent, you know? And so, yeah, I don't blame them for. Y'all, I'm so done with this. Come on, man. All I want to do is talk about Tiffany. Y'all, she could skate so good. She was such a happy kid. And like I said, she was always at the skating ring by herself. I don't remember I never saw her with an adult. It was just Tiffany skating. And she was a really good skater. We all were back then. It's the 90s, 1998. Like when I read that, it took me like right back there, you know? Which is really sad because I remember how sad it was. If this phone don't work, I swear to God, I'm gonna throw it away. I'm gonna just throw it away. Will anything work? One of these old phones, maybe? I don't understand. It's been like this all day. I actually noticed it when I got here earlier, and I was like, oh God, I'm gonna have problems with my phones all day. Hello? Y'all, I'm so sorry. You know, I'm so sorry. You know, maybe I should have just accepted defeat last year and I could have just got Starlink and not paid my truck payment. I'd probably have a new car by now. You know, if I would have just defaulted on the payments and used that money to get me Starlink and more filming stuff. I mean, it's literally not working. Look at this. And I'm on the Wi-Fi. Make it make sense. And I know I'm not the only one that's been having these problems. People make me mad because they're just like, it's your phones. Why don't you change service? No. Why don't you pay attention? We all having these problems. And it's a sign from God, honey, that our infrastructure is about to damn drop out the sky. I mean, it's just not even working at all. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Please, Jesus, let my phone work. Please, Jesus. Please, Jesus. Dear Heavenly Father, I'm under so much stress. I've got to eat next month. Can you please let my phone work? Jesus, please. I beg of you. Please. Dear Heavenly Father, can you please give me service, Lord? I have all of these fancy modern devices, Lord, and they don't work, Jesus. This is why I cuss a lot. If I had service, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. Might as well just damn throw the whole thing. I'm literally sorry. Love you. Bye. Talk to you later. So since we got started on this live, we've been through 2 computers, 3 phones, and we're down to our last 2 phones. Let's hope that one of these work. I mean, this is crazy, man. It's because there's clouds or something. Every day. Every day. You know, every day. Does Starlink, what do you mean? Does it not work? Are you talking about the pricing? And do they have portable ones like that I can like, I don't know, strap to my bike or something? Like, I have to work. Like, people don't get it because they don't fucking have the ambition or something. I don't know, but like, If I had Wi-Fi like that fucking worked, I would push out 12 to 16 hours a day in content. True crime story after true crime, things that I'm interested in, psychology, cooking videos, like seriously, it would be nonstop. You would probably have to act like trank me to get me to stop working. That's how much I want to work, but because I'm homeless, I never get to. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. And then I literally spent 6 hours this morning getting ready to just be here with you guys. And now, same shit, different day. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just download PDF after PDF in order to have all of this shit? And like, how long is that going to last? How long is that going to last? You can't travel with it yet. Oh, you can. For your camper. Are they waterproof? I need to look into that. I really do. Like, seriously, it's getting ridiculous. I've been saying it for 2 years. It's probably cost me not only like, I probably could have like 200,000 followers right now if my Wi-Fi actually worked. It cost me money and it cost me followers because I never have service. People come in, they see it's all blurry and it's not working and they leave and they don't come back. It's literally cost me money. I mean, and look now, I'm literally on the Wi-Fi and it's not working. So even when there's Wi-Fi, the damn phone don't work. Is it the service? No, they're all like that. Even my computers that don't have cell service. It's the systems, you guys. It's the systems. That 5G, we didn't have the infrastructure for that. And we're paying for it now. That's why everything's slow. When the satellites start falling out the damn sky, I don't want to hear it. Because my livelihood literally depends on me having service, me being able to eat. Like, I've done lost everything. I was like, damn, I want a home, I want this, I want that, like, and now I'm like, damn, I just want to eat. Okay, I'm happy. I don't need a house, I don't need a car, I don't need a job. Like, fine, I'll just be happy with just being able to eat. Is that okay? And the service gods are like, no, girl, you're not gonna eat. The service gods. Jesus, I just don't understand. It's every day. Y'all hear this squeaky ass chair? Let's try the computer because this is not going to work, and I'm going to talk about this. I'm gonna stay on live until I can talk about it. How about that? Pisses me off. I've got 9 devices, 2 computers, 7 phones, Wi-Fi, and no service. You see why I got anger problems? Listen, anybody that's ever worked from home, you know exactly how I feel. Anybody that's ever worked from home, you know exactly how I feel. Because your paycheck literally is determined by your Wi-Fi capabilities. It's crazy. And I'm already damn struggling enough. Here we go. Now the computer decides to work. The phones ain't working first. First, the computers didn't want to work, so I switched to the phones. Then the phones didn't want to work, so I switched back to the computers. Then the computers stopped working, so I switched back to the phones. And once again, we are returning back to the computers. That's not working. Can somebody send help? Send SOS, send help. Okay, so here's what I'm going to have to do. I guess we'll just shoot the shit for the next couple hours since I can't pull up content or work. I mean, seriously. Send help. We don't do retracted messages, but you already know that. It's always the damn trolls. Got something to say, why not say it to my face? I wonder if I cut the Wi-Fi off. This is crazy. Like, nobody else thinks it's absolutely insane that I can't even do a Google search right now on like 9 different devices when I have Wi-Fi. Hello. I'm not leaving this live until I finish talking about Tiffany. So however long we have to wait is however long we have to fucking wait. Like, I'm just trying not to cry right now, okay? All I want to do is work 16 to 20 hours a day. That's all I want to do. I can't even manage to work 3 or 4. So sick of freaking problems. All right, let's see here. So this was Tiffany. This is one of the last pictures that they had of her. That was Tiffany Long out of Alamance County, North Carolina. So prosecutors say, so these names, first of all, hold on one second. So there was 3 people. There was 2 guys and a girl. The girl, I can't, is it Dorothea? Her boyfriend, he had a nephew who was also involved in this. So it was Dorothy, her boyfriend, and the nephew. It looks like Harold Jones, who was 17, who was Dorothea's boyfriend, she was 18. I think that's the sickest part. And then the nephew, I think, was 13. So there was a 13-year-old boy who had, if I'm not mistaken, he's the one that is mentally handicapped, but I could be wrong. It's been a while. I was also only 11 when this happened. Then there's 18-year-old Dorothy and 17-year-old Harold. It looks like they abducted, raped, and killed Tiffany on October 16th of 98. Her body was discovered behind a vacant house in Burlington where all 3 teens had once lived. All defendants were moved to Fayetteville for the pre-trial. So Dorothy was sentenced to 124 years in prison as part of an agreement with prosecutors in which she pled guilty to second-degree murder, rape, and kidnapping, and first-degree sex offense. Harold Jones faces, he was looking at first-degree murder, kidnapping, and 3 sex-related counts. See, this is why, I hate the internet, because they don't tell us what I want to know. Give me a second. I hope these people are not out of jail by now. Here we go. This is talking about how he was mentally retarded. And it looks like he was a bully, too, it says. Hold on. Oh, God, you might be holding on till the damn cows come home. I don't understand. So disc closet ain't gonna be an option. I don't get service. And I can't take the risk at putting in 6, 10 hours in content and learning about something and then being stuck with not being able to talk about it. This is crazy. I fucking can't win for losing. This is crazy. So this was Tiffany. No, that's not her. No, it is. It says Alamance Memorial Park. That is. She looks completely different. So that must have been the last one. See, this is how I remember her, like younger. But that was the last photo, I guess. Come on, man. It doesn't tell me anything. So it looks like Joseph Jones was just 13 years old, abandoned and angry. Oh my God, is this gonna try to make me buy something? It won't even let. Oh my God, I'm so fucking done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna have to come back another day. I'm so done. I'm so done. So done. None of my devices work. I don't have service, even though I have Wi-Fi and 9 different devices. I'm so done. Literally go to pull up a fucking article after 30 minutes of struggling to pull up an article, and you have to buy something to even read it. Of course you do. Of course you do. Welcome to the new world where everything's a freaking scam. Can't even read the damn front page of the newspaper without somebody showing up and putting a gun to your head. Have you paid for that paper? It's ridiculous. It really is. I bet this don't even damn work either. Brand new Dell. What's your excuse? What is your excuse and purpose? Well, your purpose is to damn pull up the internet for me. What you don't do is pull up the internet for me. Well, this has been interesting. You know what I mean? It's brand new. It's not that. This is fucking insane, y'all. I cannot win. Like, you don't understand. It's been 2 years of me just trying. All I've wanted to do is work every day. Every day I wake up and it's like, how am I going to work today? And like, literally everything gets in my way. Why is Satan trying to stop me so bad? I mean, seriously. It's absolutely spiritual warfare. I'm starting to understand. The more I talk about important things, the more these things happen. It's not a coincidence. It's fine. I guess I'm just going to have to damn take screenshots of everything so that I have content, because that's my only other way. My devices don't work. So this closet's not an option. I'm going to have to find somewhere, someone else to bug for a closet, because this closet is not sufficient. My first question was, do you have Wi-Fi? Because I have to work. So that's the whole purpose of my entire life, is to work. Seriously, legitimately. That's all I want to be doing, is working. But every single day, every single thing is in my way. I don't even have a device that works right now. And just the ones that you can see, they don't work on Wi-Fi. Welcome to the new world. I don't understand either. And even my cell phones should work without Wi-Fi. I think that it has, everything to do with the location. This is the mountains, so there is not service out here. This is the way that it is. And this is part of the reason I was in Florida, because I have service. And I don't have service here at all. At all. So, yeah. Well, what y'all's plans tonight? I guess we'll just sit around and talk. I wanted to damn talk about something important, but per usual, Satan makes that impossible. Yeah. Yeah. Probably in the fucking woods, Probably in the fucking woods. Same shit, different day. Yeah. I was hoping to get out and actually work out today, but I didn't have a way to do that. So it is what it is. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. Maybe tonight. I don't know. Being without a car, I don't get to make a lot of decisions for myself anymore, and it sucks. That was my freedom. That was my way out. That was my survival. That was how I can work and survive. And now I don't have that. So a lot of these things are completely out of my control now. And it sucks, and it's just, it sucks, It absolutely sucks. I'm starving. I need to get some food. I haven't really been eating that well because I'm so stressed out. Damn. It sucks. This is why I be so mad. Imagine paying hundreds of dollars a month for a service and you ain't never got none. And it affects your money. If you come to my channel talking about meeting up with me, it'll get you an automatic block. Stop trying to meet people off the internet before you go missing. So why will it let me go to to YouTube, but it won't let me go to my damn search engine? What is going on today? So it'll let me go to YouTube and watch degenerate videos, but it won't let me Google search for an article that's important. Let me show you. Oh, well, she's still thinking. Let's see if I can watch something. I'm just done. I swear to God, man, when I get a bank account, I'm so done. I'm literally going to walk into Verizon Wireless making demands. Like, Boost Mobile, I've literally probably, I don't know. I don't know. I'd probably have a new car and a house by now if I fucking had service. Seriously. Seriously. That's how much it's affected my income, not having service. I'd say 70, 80% of what I could make, just I don't even get to make because I never have service. I only get to film a few hours a day. I need to be filming 16 to 20, actually filming content and working on editing videos 16 to 20 hours a day. I would, if I could. If I had service, if my devices worked, what I paid for worked, I'd be doing that. If I had stability, a roof over my head, I'd be all in 16 to 20 hours a day. Watch my editing skills just become amazing when I do have that stability one day. And I'm able to focus on the task at hand instead of having to create stupid content of me being stalked and my stalkers being arrested. That's exactly why people are out here behaving that way, though. They're trying to stop me from completing my mission. Because they hate themselves and they have no goals of their own, so they're trying to ruin mine. It's crazy. Don't make no freaking sense. How you pay for? So the phone has service, and then there's Wi-Fi, and the phone will not work. Nothing will work. Every day, this is what I go through around here. Yeah, I would say that I could probably make. I could make a 70 to 80% profit if I had, like, I could make that much more. like my little measly $700 check that I'm going to get, I could turn that into 10 times that amount if I had stability in my life and resources to film. So it's frustrating when you have all of this initiative, all of this worth ethic, all of this goodness flowing through you, and you know how to fix these things, but everybody, everything, even the cell service is in your damn way. It's absolutely Satan. It's absolutely Satan. There's no logical explanation other than Satan. Take a look around. Look at my purpose every single day. What do I get up and do? I get up and better myself. I get up and encourage people to better themselves. It's so frustrating. I guess the longer and the more I go through these things, the more I start to realize how worthy I am, how I didn't realize my worth. You know, if Satan is after me this damn hard, it means I've got great things ahead. It means that great things are going to happen. It just sucks that everything's happened the way that it has. But it's only been in my benefit. Through all of the heartache and hell that I've been through in the past 2 years, it's only been in my benefit. All it's done is expose what I say is true. So it just sucks that I literally had to lose everything for people to open up their eyes. But it's okay. I'm committed. This is life now. Whatever happens in the next 60, 70, 80 years, I'm filming it all. I'm completely committed. It is so frustrating to wake up with a plan and to know your mission and to know life's purpose and to know what creates happiness and healthy everything, a healthy lifestyle, and to have Satan so obsessed with you that you can't even get cell service. It is that deep. It absolutely, I mean, look at how many times I go through this a week. I'm on Wi-Fi right now, for God's sakes. It is that deep. That's what spiritual warfare is. It's those little inconsistencies that are trying to mess up your day to knock you off of your feet so that you don't complete the mission of spreading God's word and being a worker bee for him. That's exactly what it's about. You know? Sorry. Thank you. I'm gonna damn get it together. Y'all know what? I hadn't been back to that Facebook bullshit since I called all them little fake ass people out in that post. Remember that post that I posted of these Facebook Karens sitting around this town? So I hadn't been back on Facebook because I don't get on Facebook. For those that don't know, Facebook is not even a thing anymore. It's embarrassing when people think that it is. Facebook is where all of the degenerates who have no lives and jobs go to gossip. That's what Facebook's for now. Karens. So anyways, I popped in and lo and behold, someone who's always claimed that they love me so much was in the comment section talking shit. I was just like, this is right on par. That's what people do. This is why I stay alone, because more people operate that way than not. I'm not being cynical. I'm being rational. And the fact that most people do not realize this means that you probably behave that way. Like, they behave that way. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, some bitch done turned fake as hell. I was just like, what's new? I wasn't even surprised. I actually laughed when I saw it. I was like, wow. I guess a hater's always going to be a hater, honey. You know. Hater's going to always be a hater. That's what they do. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do this afternoon. I definitely, I'm going to have to be in town. Yeah, it was so loud last night because I ended up sleeping out there and it was just so freaking loud. Like, tonight's going to be the same because it's Saturday, so people are just kind of crazier on the weekends, and I guess it's getting towards the end of the summer too, and people know it's going to be getting cold, so they're like partying a lot more. It's crazy. I would love to see alcohol sales in this town. I bet you that it's double what most counties are. I'd be willing to bet. It might be up there with like Wilmington, of course, because that's the culture there. But that's what I'm saying. Like Wilmington, their alcohol sales are going to be larger than most cities because it's a tourist destination. People go there specifically to party and drink. So they're going to have a higher sale of alcohol in comparison to somewhere that is more family friendly, that's not a tourist destination. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get it? Okay, I'm not a very smart woman, so I have to try really hard. My point is I would be willing to bet that the alcohol sales in this little backwoods town would match a larger city that is like a tourist destination. But I'm like, seriously, it would be like that. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. It's like Jacksonville, but tinier. Jacksonville, I mean, you heard what the sheriff said out there. He said that they have one of the deadliest, what did he say? There's a short on it. He said, his word, let me think verbatim. He said that they have the highest level of DWI crashes in the country. Anyways, there's a short on it. He was talking about because of the culture, being close to the beach, it being a tourist destination. More people are coming there to party and drink, and so you're going to see more DWIs and deaths by DWIs on the road. And he said it's one of the worst in the nation. There's stats on that, how many they have. I would be willing to bet, that the alcohol sales in this area would match a larger city such as Greensboro. That's how much of it's going on. So they get really crazy when they're out there drinking and stuff. You know what I mean? The weekends, they're like loud and drinking, and I'm trying to go to bed at like I'm setting up on a tree trying to sleep at like 8, 9 o'clock, and these fools are in the street acting a fool. So it makes it hard to get sleep, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks. It's so unfair. It really is when you want to go to sleep and you got these fools like just drinking and drugging. And it's crazy because I don't drink or drug, and these fools are out on the street drinking and drugging, and they have roofs over their heads. Like, they could be at home drinking and drugging, but they're in the streets drinking and drugging, and I'm homeless wanting a home. Do you get what I'm saying? It really makes you angry when you're that homeless person having to deal with people on drugs and alcohol when you're sober and you're homeless and they have homes. Do you get it? It's actually one of the most infuriating things. When you're homeless and you're getting bullied and stalked by people who have homes who are drinking and drugging and you don't drink or drug. This is the reality, though. You know, it's crazy. Yeah, the weekends have been crazy, especially last weekend because of the full moon. I completely went off a grid because of that. I'm not dealing with it. It just sucks that so many people, you know, it's crazy because I always say, I'm like, shit, I'm doing better off than most of society. And the reason I say that is because of intrinsic value, but and morals and respect and kindness and empathy and compassion. But then when I'm having to deal with all of these losers that clearly have no job, no ambition, they're drinking, they're drugging, they're following me around town, I'm proving my point. If I was not better than them, then why are they so fixated on me? If I wasn't better than them, then why are they harassing me? If I wasn't better than them, then why are they stuck on me? It just proves my point even more, is my point. That I am better off than most of society. I would never, ever bother someone who is working. I don't care if you want to call this a legitimate job or not. The fact is I make a paycheck. It might be a small one. One day it'll be a big one. Enough to damn hopefully put a roof over my head and maybe put my kids through fucking college. And see, if some other people was worried about doing that for their offspring, and maybe they wouldn't be hung up on me. But I digress. I am better off than most of modern society. I know the secret to happiness. I've got my physical health in check. I'm not out here trying to bully homeless people or break someone down. I don't spread hate. I'm not angry at everybody because I let myself get fat. I'm not out here playing games with people's future. You know, all the stuff that you've witnessed me go through. I've never behaved that way towards anyone. It's just interesting because while all of these losers are stalking me and following me around town, all it's doing is proving my point that people literally hate themselves, and that we have, not only that, but we have a huge problem with sexual perversion and sexual predators out here. How many times in the past 6 weeks have we had weird stuff go down? The old guy at the damn laundromat trying to fill me up, the other pervert trying to damn sell me a biscuit for a biscuit. I mean, it's just been nonstop. I've caught, I would say 3 dozen to 4 dozen people that just pop into my life bothering me as I am trying to work out, and I am sexually harassed on a constant basis in this town. And there's a lot of people that feel like I'm the bad guy in that situation because I put a camera in people's faces. No, absolutely not. To not put a camera in their face makes you just as bad as that predator. See, that's how it works. You're complicit. You're either a good guy or you're a bad guy. You're either going to see something and say something, or see something and ignore something. There's 2 types of people in this world. These men out here have no right to be messing with anybody that's homeless, or anybody in general. I don't owe them anything. Us as women, we don't owe you a hello or a good morning. Just because you want something don't mean that you're entitled to something. You can't always get what you want. Some of y'all should have done learned this. Like, wasn't that the Rolling Stones? Wasn't that like the 60s? These men that interject themselves into my life, they feel entitled to my time and my words. And I'm here to tell you that shit, that's a hard stop. Yeah, see, because what we're going to do on this channel is we're going to gear society in the right direction, the way that the Lord would want society geared towards. We've done that from the start, actually. I'm just reiterating because I know I have to do that every day as a content creator. But for real, It's crazy. I wonder how many women are sitting at home mad right now because they done saw their husbands on my live when he was trying to buy potentially vagina off of what he thought was a homeless woman. Since I got time today, might as well work. People are wild, ain't they? You see how they just come and lie? You see how they just come and make up stuff? Oh, I got a perfect example. I wanted to talk about that. But yeah, ladies, you don't owe these men nothing. And matter of fact, we don't talk to strangers. Stranger danger. We do not negotiate with terrorists. And we keep an arm's circumference all the way around. Remember, it's up to us to keep ourselves safe. Okay? Yeah, there was somebody that said something. Let's see. Jesus, I've only got 5,000 billion Jesus freaking screenshots. I really need to start learning to compile these in a different manner. Some guy said, there was a song that was posted, and some guy said, oh, it was a comment that one of y'all left. Anyways, I don't know. It was a comment that somebody left. So we were working out in Jacksonville like last summer or at the beginning of this summer, and we were talking about Lil Wayne, and I was talking about how great the Lil Wayne album was when I was like in my 20s or something, or a teenager. And y'all know that song, the Officer song. So we had like sang it or something on live, and then somebody the other day comes to my channel and they post a comment. So the only thing that happened with this Officer song was that we listened to it on the beach, and I told you guys that when I was a teenager, I had the album and it was like hot shit at the time. That was all that was said. Okay? Hold on to that. Fast forward 6 months, I checked my comments yesterday, and some guy has left a comment stating that I said, this is what he said. He says, oh yeah, I remember you telling me that you used to ride around with your mother and listen to Lil Wayne's Officer song. And this is how the internet has become a huge game of telephone. How in the world this person made up this parasocial situation in his head, I don't know. I don't really care, but it's crazy to me. Like when I first become like on the streets, remember everybody telling me to buy a tent and stuff? It's like people literally will hear you say something and they take what you say on this platform and they completely twist it around. This happened yesterday too. Remember yesterday? I addressed it when it happened and then I blocked the person. I don't remember what it was. Like for instance, I can say, I don't know. It's hard to explain, you guys. It's such a form of like internet psychological torture for people to like literally lie on you, but also to take what you say and completely misinterpret it. Completely. I can say, I'm going to Chile with some friends, and the internet says, oh, she's going to Chili's with some guy she met off a POF. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. They literally just lie. I mean, you would have to. How does I'm going to Chile with some friends turn into, oh, she's on a date with a guy? Well, on my page, it does. I literally hear so many lies every day. It's crazy. Well, not every day. But still, like, you know, when I hear news about me, I just expect for it to be some outlandish fucking story. I'm like, oh, what disease do we have today? Who were we fucking last night? What drugs did we do yesterday? You know, like, it's like checking TMZ, looking like, seriously, it's like, what is the buffoonery today? What's on the menu for the lies today? I wish I could find that. Yeah, they completely just twist what you say and turn it around. I don't really know how to put it into words other than I can say, I like blue dresses, and then people are like, she said she doesn't like to wear black. And it's like, no, I just said that I like blue dresses. That's not excluding the black dresses. I don't know how to put it into better terms other than that, but it sucks. It really sucks. And then people believe that bullshit too, which is crazy. I mean, that's just solidified for me that they're actually getting dumber. The more y'all that come and spread hate, the more I think dumber society's getting. So all you're doing is proving my point once again, all you're doing is helping me out by showing my followers that actually support me that what I say is true. We are living in a time of just narcissists being birthed left and right. I mean, they're being raised straight from the tablecloths. Straight from the tablecloths. The internet is just ruined them. Hello? Hey, Lynn. Is it Linzola? Linzola? I like that. Hello. Yeah, they're definitely being brainwashed from the tablecloth. Yeah, the more people that I see jumping in on like hate and stuff, it really goes to show that people are getting dumber. They're not able to put two and two together or use common sense. Or is it that people are just living such a life of privilege nowadays that they're not having to suffer like I had to do, so they can't conceptualize it? It's one or the other. It's either a lack of intelligence or, once again, inconsideration. They're either inconsiderate or it's a lack of intelligence. The hate that I face. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know, Brian. Yeah, I'm aware. I really realized that over this Trump scandal, because a lot of people do not understand the ties that we have to Israel. But I don't know enough to talk about it. I just know what I know. That's all I know. And I know that God, he would not be pleased with the current, everything, the whole world, Israel specifically. He would be very, very disappointed. But, this is the modern world, and, unfortunately, I don't think that it's ever been much better. I think it's been better in other ways. Yeah, we got modern plumbing now and running water, and, we got technology and stuff. Like, it makes life easier, but we still have the same problems that we've had since we've existed. I think we've always had major issues. I think that it'll always be this way, and I think that things are going to get worse because we're absolutely living through the end of times right now. This is Revelations playing out in front of us. Those rabbits with the damn horns and stuff. I mean, listen. I don't know, man. COVID, I mean, it's just, yeah. Yeah. The world's on fire. People suck. The government's trying to kill us. Yay, so exciting! Are we gonna live? Damn it. No, but for real, I think it's always been crappy. And that's what I was saying about that, like, the way that they used to, like, sell their daughters off back in the day. You know that back then, the culture was different. Fathers felt like they were entitled to sexually abuse their children. Those children were their property. And so sexual abuse was very bad back then. Incest specifically. And most of those crimes went unreported because of the culture. You would have been blamed. You should not walk around the house in your bonnet, or you shouldn't milk the cow in the field in your bonnet. It's improper, and that's why you were sexually assaulted by your sibling brothers. That's how it was back then. And matter of fact, when you would go to your parents and tell them about stuff like that, they would cover up the abuse and, more often than not, protect the abuser. And so things like that We, in our culture, we've actually gotten better. Believe it or not, and it's sad to say because we're nowhere near fixing the amount of sexual abuse and sexual assault that takes place in this country and around the world. But I do think that things like that, incest and in-home sexual abuse from caregivers, things like that have probably went down over the decades because victims are more push towards reporting these types of incidents nowadays, and also they know there's more of a stigma behind that, and also there's the risk of being incarcerated. So I think in certain areas like that, when we look back in history, we can see that things have changed and gotten better over time, but there's always been a problem there. And then in other ways, we have other problems growing, like with technology. We've never lived through this before. We don't know the long-term psychological effects of cell phones and raising children with cell phones. We don't know the long-term effects in early childhood development, what it means for their brains. And we're actually living through that now. And in my opinion, it's been the most detrimental thing that we have ever done to children, besides allowing them to be mutilated in the name of the LGBTQ plus. Seriously. So that's a problem that's now been created by modern technology that we don't know the long-term effects because we're just living through it. So buckle in, bitches. I hope you brought a helmet because it's already wild out here. It's already wild out here. Children are out here raping old ladies. Just when you think it can't get worse, seriously, just when you think it can't get worse, you hear about some man on the subway getting raped by another man. It's like, damn, men are not even exempt from sexual assault anymore. How bad is it getting? I mean, poor grandmas, 91 years old. Can you imagine? Lord, you make it 91 years on Folgers coffee and hopes and dreams and the American spirit, and then you got some 12-year-old pervert that's been raised by a damn cell phone, missing parents, that assaults this woman. It's what happened. Sick. Absolutely sick. So we don't know the long-term effects because we're just living through it, and I think that we're getting little snippets of what we got to look forward to for the next 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years until that said generation of people die off. And we'll probably outlive millennials. We'll definitely outlive them because, I mean, they're aging like milk. It's crazy out here. It's crazy. Okay? All I know is I think that the world has always been suffering. I think we've always been plagued by suffering. And I think that we will always be plagued by suffering. I think that we have new subcategories of problems that are going to be huge social issues in 20, 30 years popping off right now. Stuff that we haven't experienced and lived through before. And I think that historically we've always had major social issues. And I think that some of them have gotten better over time, like sexual abuse. Just the awareness alone, talking about it, letting victims know that it's not their fault. You know, that was the first thing I was told when I was 9 years old. My therapist told me, this is not your fault. I knew. She didn't even have to say it. I knew. I've always been able to tell right from wrong. And I could always tell when other people was doing right from wrong. And that's always put a target on my back, even as far as grade school, kindergarten, Head Start. I could see through the teacher's buffoonery, the inconsistencies, wondering why an adult would lie. Because I thought adults weren't supposed to do that. I thought adults knew better. It's crazy. I think that the awareness alone, talking about it and letting victims know that it's not their fault, has helped victims come forward. And it's also helped perpetrators control themselves a little bit more. We need that pedophilia stigma. Without that stigma, these things will get worse. Look at current crime. Look at all of the major cities that they defunded departments, and then they rewrote laws or enacted old laws, or you know what I mean. And look at the crime in those cities, like Minneapolis, New York, the entirety of California, most of those states too. But Look at how crime has skyrocketed, how we see so many of these people commit horrible crimes, get out of jail, and then go commit another horrible crime. They literally have a track record in liberal cities for being light on crime, and they try to see it from this mental health perspective. Oh, this person was struggling on drugs, or this person grew up in the foster care system. Okay, so me too, Karen. Me too, Karen. You don't see me out here making excuses for my bad behavior. It's just crazy. And they will do the same thing with pedophiles if we allow them to do that, is my point. They will destigmatize it and then make it normal. They've already started. Please wake up. Please. They've already started. It's absolutely crazy, you know? They'll do the same thing. Over and over. Yeah, that September 18th. Yeah, that court date is for my stalker, you dumbass. Yeah, because my stalker was arrested. Let me explain this, because this is what really sucks about victims. So, I had this guy that was stalking me. You guys have seen him. You guys actually have pointed him out behind me in my lives before when I was unaware that he was even behind me. I filed 2 different reports with 2 different departments. Hey, John. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Well, here, you can go hang out with them. So, bye-bye now. So I had to file 2 different reports with 2 different sheriff's departments because this guy was actually following me through 2 different cities. He absolutely knew this. This is a tactic that stalkers do because you cross over into so many different jurisdictions, and then the sheriff's departments don't want to help you. And when you call the FBI, speaking from personal experience, they tell you to get in contact with the local jurisdiction. So I had to file 2 different reports. And then I had to go to the magistrate to take out a warrant. I described to the magistrate everything that was happening, all of the videos, all of the contact that this person had with me, how we were verbally arguing, how I have anger problems. I told them everything. So they took out a warrant for misdemeanor stalking in the state of North Carolina for the guy. Now, he was arrested the other day. I think the most important part of the video that I clipped this morning that we need to really pay attention to, in the video, I'd actually called law enforcement earlier that afternoon because I'd actually saw him walking down the street. And since he had a warrant for his arrest, I wanted to make sure that they arrested him because he keeps following me around. They were busy. It was Friday. They were busy as hell. And the officer came over and talked to me and asked me which way he had went. Well, later on, we had bicycled up to Subway to get us some lunch, and we're standing under this beautiful tree, and we're about to eat, and the officers come rolling back up, and they were like, have you seen it? This is crazy. This is the crazy part. I'm on live. Let me just, cop comes rolling up. Hey, have you seen him? I said, no, I haven't. All of this is on live. I said, no, I ain't seen him. They pull off. It was literally not even 2 minutes later. He's sitting in front of me at the stoplight. And I did not see him. Did not see him. I'm still on live with you guys. All of a sudden, I hear sirens. And I look up. And it's that black Jeep being pulled right in front of me. What are the chances that I get to film him being arrested? You know, sometimes Jesus is like just so good to me. That was just, I literally wish I had a videographer so I could have sent him over there, because I didn't want to go near it. And matter of fact, we bicycled and got out of there. But I think the most important part is that he was watching me on live right before he was arrested. He saw that I had just got done talking to those officers and that I had told those officers that I had not seen him. And he was coming over there to drive around me, to be like, ha ha, I'm still free. Ha ha, I'm right here. Ha ha, I still know where you're at. Ha ha, watch me stalk you some more. And that's what he had been doing for 2 months. That was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was actually on the ground in my book bag and I was talking to you guys, and my bike kept falling over. I had all those drinks in the bicycle. That basket, that basket is very handy for the bicycle. Very handy. But if you put 2 or 3 water bottles in there, the bike will just tip over. So I'm picking all of my personal property up off the ground as the cop had done drove off. And all of a sudden I hear police sirens. I look up and it's the stalker literally at the stoplight getting pulled by the cops and pulled into the gas station. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm telling you, that was just chef's kiss, man. Chef's kiss. The iron, and you know he knows that I saw him get arrested because he was coming over there after watching me on live. That's the best part. That's the best part. He's sitting at the light watching me under that tree through that parking lot. He's watching me, and he just got off the live so he could come find me, and he saw that I told the cop that I ain't seen it. That's the best part. He's sitting at that light thinking he's about to come toy with me. And he knows I'm right there. He can see me. And then he gets pulled, and he has to know that I'm watching him get arrested. You're right. It's the best karma. Best karma, Kimberly. Best karma. I haven't had, like, seriously, I haven't had that kind of karma given to me. And, like, you know, I haven't seen karma in play for me in so long. It just makes me happy that he's off the street. Now, he'll probably make bond. Yeah, I hope not. Well, there's, the court order states that he's not allowed to contact me. He's not allowed to be watching my channel, which he'll probably be doing because he can't help himself. He has no cutoff mechanism. And the drugs and alcohol that he does not help. To my knowledge, all he does is smoke weed and drink. But it's such a problem that I noticed that when he would drink on the weekends, his style of stalking would amp up. So what happens when he gets blackout drunk one night and decides to just kidnap me off the street? This is not a game. He's already assaulted one woman. He has a charge for castration, non-malicious castration and maiming of a woman. He also has assault on a female and also assault with a deadly weapon on a female, all stemming from the same incident. This is not a game, okay? And I know I'm a violent offender too. However, when have you ever seen me out in these streets trying to stab somebody? I would never. What I did at 18 was not who I am. It's part of who I was and part of the drugs that I was under. I was on Xanax. I don't know if you've ever taken Xanax, but I'm sure you don't remember shit, just like I don't. That's not who I am. That's a part of my life that I had to survive through. And it's a part of my life where I was absolutely a horrible, violent person, mainly for survival. A lot of people cannot understand that because they did not grow up under the conditions. But anyone that grew up in the foster care system, don't be out here in these streets trying to fight them because they spent their whole childhood fighting for their lives. Okay? It's sad. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, the saddest part of this is that this man has a loving family. He sure does. And his family owns a business in the area. Like, you literally have a brother that's helping you out, family that lets you live with them, and then you got this nice Jeep that your family lets you drive, and you use your time to consume alcohol and weed and stalk women? You know, this is what I be meaning when I say that people are ungrateful. I have no resources. And this man has no ambition and every resource in the damn world. And I got all the ambition and no resources. Why does that always happen? All the good people get shitted on and all the bad people get everything handed to them. I mean, hell, it's an entire political spectrum. Look at everybody that's in office. Tell me I'm lying. I mean, it sucks. It really does. It sucks. I'm like, damn, if I just had one family member that that was alive, that could care, then I might be doing all right in life. You know, if I can do as good as I do with no resources and being homeless, I guess I'd be unstoppable. Yeah, it's really crazy. Yeah, that's not a changed person. That's somebody that's been out here wreaking havoc on society since probably 2011 when his ass got out of prison And he was out here looking for a problem. And thank God I am a changed woman. I mean, seriously. Because the shit that I've had to go through, if I was going to snap, it would have been in the last 2 months. You know, I slept out in this wooded area near some train tracks one night, and I woke up, and that son of a bitch was driving around me. I mean, imagine you wake up in some damn cold ass grass with the birds chirping, sun coming up, and you set up. And as soon as you set up, you see this son of a bitch go driving right by you, 100 yards in front of you. I had that happen twice. It's crazy. You know, there's a lot of things that I hold back and I don't tell you guys, because if I would have said that at the time, he would have continued to do that because he would have knew that it bothered me. And, you know, I look back on that now and I'm like, thank God I didn't have his fucking address, because that would have been the morning that I did some crazy shit. I have his address now. Satellite pictures of everybody's property around him too. I just, you know, I would never do anything vindictive because I'm not like that. I'm just saying that that's the person I used to be. Roll up in the middle of the night. Yeah, kick in your front door and go ham. That's the person I used to be. So, you know, to have the self-control and restraint and to be able to control my emotions for the past 2 months and not commit felonies, it's, you know, I'm proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself. It's took, you know, a decade to get here. So I'm just proud of myself for handling this the right way. He absolutely is a waste of life. It's unfortunate. You get to 43 years of age, you're supposed to be maturing. Well, I guess some people mature and some people de-evolve. I don't know. It's crazy. Oh, definite threat. Yeah, that couldn't have been any better. As soon as I heard that cop siren, you can see it in the video. Well, not the short that I clipped, but like the full arrest video is from yesterday. And you can see I'm standing on like I'm bent down on the ground, and then all of a sudden I hear the police siren, and I look over and I'm like, oh my God, that's him. I couldn't believe it. What a dumbass. I mean, I literally have never met this man, never even spoken to this man. He just found my channel and found out that we lived in the same town. And he literally just come up with some fake, I don't know. I mean, clearly has a heart on for me. Yeah, you don't waste gas money on somebody you don't have the hots for, honey. In this economy? Come on, man. Y'all saw what he looked like, so come on. Oh, Lord. It was called WD-40 and Coffee. WD-40 and Coffee. So you can find it and watch the whole thing. I think it's about halfway in. We're walking out of Subway, and then some lady goes by cussing me. Literally, this is my life in a nutshell. I'm standing on the corner fighting for my life with this book bag and this heavy bicycle. I'm trying to find somewhere soft to sit down in the grass so I can eat my Subway. And all of a sudden, some lady goes driving by screaming something about homeless. All I heard was homeless and bitch. And I was like, what are you... Y'all know me. I was like, what you talking about? Smooth move what a bitch move to ride by and shout something out of a car. Like, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is why they hate me. That's a bitch ass move. We don't drive by and shout things out of a car. If we have something to say and we feel some type of way, we go, we walk up and we say it to their face. That's being authentic. That's being genuine. And that's being real. So anyways, grandma goes riding by in the damn paddy wagon. And she's like, she says something about me being homeless or something. And I'm like, she's cussing at me. And I'm like, screw you, lady. Like, I don't even know you. And then, as I'm cussing her out and throwing my hands up, like, come back and say it in my face, the cops come pulling in. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this town, can somebody, like, what is going on around here? And then it never even, that was when it started to dawn on me that maybe her husband was one of the people on camera that was looking for a prostitute. Yeah, maybe. You know what's crazy? Is she literally says, have you seen that guy? And I'm like, no. And then 2 minutes later, they're pulling him. It was a team of them then. I was like, Lord. All he does is drive around, and it's so small. Y'all seen me bicycle through town. It's tiny. It ain't but like 7 miles from one end to the other, you know? Like, unless you get on the back country roads, it's pretty straight cut, you know? And it's not a big town. You can literally be at either one of the police departments, and probably less, like, if you was going like lights and sirens and, like, you know, emergency situation, you could probably be at one to the other in like a few minutes, like literally like a minute. Like, that's how close they are. If you were to able to go down that main street going like $120, I don't know if you could in the mountains. It might be fun. Now we're starting to see why Brooke doesn't have a sports car. But if you could get going down that road, you could probably get there in like a minute. Seriously, it's not far. Like, if I can bicycle it in less than 15, it's not that far. It's like 2 miles between each department. And so that tells you, really, if that's 2 different departments, 2 miles apart, that tells you how small these towns are. I mean, they're tiny. There's no gyms. There's no Planet Fitnesses. No, you know, they don't, you know, there's a Walmart and a Food Line. And I can't go into either one for food. So as you can see, this is right on par with how they treat homeless people. You know, a lot of people around here know my channel. They're bothered by what I say because they don't agree with me politically. How do you feel about that now? Now that I'm like not agreeing with Trump. I don't know. I just think there's more to everything, because there usually is. I know. That, I wonder if they'll bring that up in court. That he was literally caught, that the stalker was arrested like 100 yards. Wouldn't y'all say that's about 100 yards? Does anybody know how far 100 yards is exactly? Because I use these terminologies, and sometimes I feel like it'd be a good field. Like, like if we was in a deer stand, it'd be a proper field to hunt in, like 100 yards, you know? Ah, hello. Yeah, it was like a stoplight away. So I wonder if they'll bring that up in court, that he was literally arrested within the vicinity of me. And I wonder if he's still in there. His family probably bonded him out. They seem like they have a little bit of money. I mean, not much, but like, you know, they seem like they've supported him. Like, to be 43 and still, I mean, I'm not judging. This is a bad economy. If my parents were alive, I might be home with mommy, okay? Because all I've wanted since I was like 18 is my mommy, because she went to meet God. So, seriously though, I'm not judging, but context is everything. It's one thing to live at home with your parents and be a contributing member of society, to wake up every morning with the goal of working and contributing. It's a whole nother thing to mooch off of your family and make no effort to become a better person, work, and function. Like, it's okay to live at home, and we love relationships with parents. You should spend more time with your loved ones, please. It's okay to live at home if you're making an honest effort to better your situation and get on your feet. It's a whole different thing to be a sack of crap and to mooch off of your elderly family when you're 40-something years of age and all you do is drink and smoke marijuana and stalk people. You see what I mean? Like, you can be, you know, like, in my mind, in my mind, it's kind of it's like the homeless people. There's two categories. There's people that are homeless, that want to be homeless, that choose to be homeless, that do drinks, drugs and alcohol, and then you got people like me that are making an honest effort to get themselves off the street. And I have more empathy for that subgroup of people. Most of those people are actually working and have children. It's really sad. It's really unfortunate that the modern media has spun the narrative on why people are homeless. Most people that are homeless because they can't keep up with this economy. This is a proven fact. You can fact check me on this. I have no reason to lie to you. It's really sad. What it does, that misinformation actually hurts the homeless community because they're not getting the help and resources that they need, and they're discriminated against because they're homeless. Because society has this made up, it's like what I was talking about before. You say one thing and then it's completely twisted around. The truth is spun. And it's the same thing with the homeless population. Most homeless people do not drink and do drugs. I understand that the last one you saw might have been strung out on a street corner, but the majority of homeless people do not drink or do drugs. That is a media lie. That is a government lie. And it's only going to get worse. And speaking of which, I saw an article this morning. How I was asking the other day? How I said that next year homelessness is going to increase by 50%, and then I was looking to see if there was any economist that had an actual number? Well, I found one. 73% is what they're predicting. They're saying that homelessness is going to increase 73% next year. Let me just remind you that it increased 18% this past year. So if you think it's bad now, it's going to be approximately 3 times worse than anything we've ever seen. Potentially millions of people. And let me just remind you that we only have about 750,000 living on the streets right now. My guesstimation would be a little over a million, 1.2 million. And the reason for that is most homeless people don't want contact. It's really hard to get a general census and an actual number, a factual number on these people because they don't want contact. So it's probably well over 750,000. But how scary to think, what if that number ballooned to 3 million? Let me tell you what would happen. The entire economy would collapse. We're talking Great Depression times 10. That's exactly what would happen. God, I hope not. I'm literally holding my breath. It makes me so, because I know what I've been through. And I can't imagine children being out here. And let me remind you, there's already 150,000 children that are homeless right now. So we're talking families. These are mostly families that are expected to be on the streets becoming homeless. Single mothers with children, elderly people, people with disabilities. It makes me sick. There's nothing I can do about it. That's the most frustrating part. I was homeless for 6 years. I never did anything. I was in a tent working, and I got a job. That's good. Well, your family sounds like pieces of shit, Hannah. I hope you stay away from them. They sound toxic as hell, and you did not deserve that. People are horrible, y'all. Yeah, it is a thing. Yeah. I don't think a lot of people also think about the fact that when people are homeless, they don't have the means to get a job. Where are they going to shower? They can't go to work smelling like sweat. And let me just tell you that yesterday I worked out, and we did a triathlon yesterday, and it was like 97 degrees. I stunk so bad. You literally can just pull your shirt off and it just stinks. Like, it's so hot out there that you can go take a shower at the local YMCA, and then 2 hours later you're disgusting again because of the climate, because of the high humidity, because you're in the elements. Your clothes reek and cotton just gets so wet. But people don't think about where these people would shower. There's not community places for them to shower. Maybe a few shelters across the nation offer places, but like most of them do not. And even like the shelters that are by me, they don't allow members of the shelter to stay there overnight. There's so much misconception, there's so much delusion, or like, I don't know how to put it into words. It's like the media has lied. And I've explained this before. So like, you know how the media will like showcase stories on the evening news? They'll be like, oh, we built these 3 tiny houses over here at our community center for homeless people, right? Okay. What they don't tell you is that they only built maybe a dozen of them, and that they have, I don't know, 4,000 homeless people in the city. So modern society would see that news report and they would think that the city is actively doing something to help these homeless people. And I'm here to tell you that the only reason they built those 12 tiny houses was to get donations from the public. This is how homelessness is very profitable. And those donations don't have to be disclosed to anyone. Homelessness is a modern scam. The resources, the illusion of resources is a modern scam. And it has been for 60, 70, 80 years. There's a history on it. Like, you cannot deny it. Just like the foster care system, just like drug rehabs. Do you know how much money they get from insurance? What is the motive to get patients clean if you need to milk those patients for insurance money? So this is why no one's being helped. This is why these things get worse, because these are all outlets to make money. Even the foster care system. Modern misconception, they need money. They don't need money. They make plenty of money. The federal government makes plenty of money. It's crazy. They're all modern scams, and it's really sad. Really, really sad. Damn, John. She might have been jealous of y'all's relationship. If y'all was both working and like living with her until you get on your feet and then your mom kicks you out. And I mean, see, it's stuff like that. That level of betrayal. Like, you and your wife needed that spot to get yourselves as young people on your feet. That was your only resource. And then your mother, who birthed you, kicked you out on the street, leaving you with nowhere to go. Do you understand how that can disrupt somebody's life? They have to quit their job. They might lose their car. That starts the domino effect in people's lives. And that's exactly what happened to me. That's why I moved into a car. And that's exactly what's continued to happen in my life since I started this channel. And I'm just glad that I film everything, because nobody can call me a liar. Unless they're delusional, So, and then we get lots of those around here. That's horrible, John. And I'm glad that you guys distance yourselves from her. Yeah, I'm glad you did that, because it sounds like she's toxic. So crazy. Speaking of vegetables, and I'm so sorry to hear that, my Ozempic, is that Orzic? Ozempic, what is that? There needs to be whole shorts of me saying words wrong, because I'm telling you, it's so comical. Ozempic. Really, Brooke? That's what we're going with. 500 Ozempic, Alex. Final answer. Bruce. Hello, Bruce. Vegetables. Yeah, I saw a report this morning. Y'all know that vegetables are about to skyrocket in price, right? I don't know why. The tariffs. Why is it always some new scam for us to have to spend more money? It started with like COVID, and then the vaccine, and then it's just been like, insurance went up, and then the house prices, and like, why is it always just another branch of a scam coming at us? Because, I mean, it's just scams, red flags after red flags. Seriously, though, now they're saying that vegetables are going to go up like 70%. I do believe it said something like that. Don't quote me. And, I can't afford the cost of food now. I'm done. Choking on my own spit because I've been hungry for an hour. How much is produce going to go up? How much is produce going to go up? %40. Oh, shit. Wholesale vegetable prices in the U.S. have recently seen a significant increase, with some reports indicating 39% jump in July compared to the previous year. But there was an economist that come out and said that it was going to go up even more. That's just what it went up in the past month. 38.9% jump in July compared to the previous year. We are so fucking cooked. This is just like part of the design. It's part of the plan. They want us sick. They want to control the food. That makes perfect sense. They want to control the food. Then they can control us. Some scary shit we're living through. And, you know, the majority of society have gotten, I don't know. Is it that they live with blinders on, or is it a lack of intelligence? Are they so wrapped up with their current life that they can't pay attention and do the research for themselves? I don't think that's it, because they watch porn. I know how many people watch porn. So if they have time to watch porn, then they have time to do some valid research. It's a lack of intelligence. They're expecting it to go up more than that, though. The nearly 40% increase is the biggest one month move for a summer month in almost a century. Almost a century. It's crazy, John. I knew they were going up. I didn't realize it was this bad. So this is the highest increase move for a summer month in almost a century. These things matter because they're like dominoes. Remember a year ago when I was like, oh, I hope the dominoes don't start falling over? Well, the dominoes have started falling over. And this is one of the dominoes. Another good indicator is the housing market, and also repossession of vehicles. That's a huge one. That is people's livelihoods. They need their vehicles to get to work. Do you know that repossessions are up, and they're expecting them to continue? People are defaulting on their car loans. That is a huge sign that something big is about to happen. And I think, I think most of us know that we've been in a recession. It's just that the government won't admit to it, type of thing. How bad does it have to get for them to be like, all right, we're in a recession? This doesn't tell me going further. Yeah, so I see where they've been posting in the news all the past 2 days that vegetables have increased by almost 40%. Yeah, I wish I could, but I don't have a car, so. My phone won't work. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics Thursday morning showed across the board price increase of 3.3% in July. That's crazy. For 1 month, a 3.3% increase. In 1 month. Sorry, I'm trying to find this stat. Yeah, it's sad. People don't have the money to pay it. March 27th. Oh, shit. Ding, ding, ding. March 27th of this year, car repos hit levels unseen since 2008 financial crisis. This is usually one of the telltale signs that you're living through a recession, is that people's cars are getting repossessed because they're their livelihoods. People need their cars to get their children to school, to go to the doctor, to go to work. It's their livelihoods. For them to literally default on their payments, it's because they literally don't have the money. Most people would just pay with a credit card if they had a credit card, because, most people are tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt as well, but it's crazy. Around 1.7 million cars were seized by lenders during the 24 year. That was a 16% increase from 2023, and that is up 43% from 2 years earlier. The last time car repossessions were at this level was in 2009, when the country was dealing with the fallout from the previous year's financial crisis. The number of subprime borrowers who were at least 60 days late on their car loans climbed to 6.56% in January, the most on record. Meanwhile, purchasing a car has become more costly. What did I tell y'all? With Cox data showing that the average vehicle loan rate rose by 5 basis points to 10.16% in February, the highest in 4 months, with the average monthly car payment coming out to $748 for a sack of plastic that won't even last you 10 years. That survey also found that rejection rates have risen across all major credit products, with the perceived probability of rejection for auto loans coming to about 33.5% for February, the highest level since the survey began. The data also shows that the percentage of customers who expect credit card access to deteriorate in the next year jumped to 47%, up from 42% in October of 24. If most people lost their cars, most people would end up homeless, because that car is a means to an end. Yeah. So it looks like repossessions are up 23% from last year. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm about to run. I'm so hungry. I've got to eat. And I also got to get ready for tonight. I'm hoping that it's not going to rain. And that's what I needed to do, is check the weather. Can't even check the weather. Never mind. Lord have mercy. I give up. Maybe I can figure out what's going on with the Wi-Fi. I don't know. Yeah, I know. That's what I was paying for my truck. $700 a month. I had a deal. I had an absolute steal. If I went to go buy that truck, a new truck, like I had mine new, yeah, it'd be $2,000 a month. For a Chevy, yeah, you're gonna pay $1,000 a month, well over, maybe even 1,200. Those are not cheap trucks, and I bought mine new. So the fact that I even had a payment as low as $700 a month for that type of vehicle, it was only due to my hard work and intelligence, because my APR was at 3%. So yeah, you're not going to get that kind of deal anymore. And that's probably why I'll never buy a new car. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm going to go eat and hang out for a little while. And yeah, I'll definitely probably be live this afternoon, but I don't know when. So they're supposed to be doing karaoke tonight. I was thinking about it, but I honestly I'm tired. Doing those, I did 3 or 4 triathlons this week. I think 3 triathlons, which is 25 miles, 24. And I'm exhausted. I'm also sunburnt. My head and my arms hurt. My shoulder from that road burn, it got sunburnt yesterday. Thank you, Miss GT. 2020 Land Rover. I saw one of those on sale on Craigslist. The only thing about that is parts. I don't want to buy something that's like a specialty vehicle, because I don't know how hard parts will be or how expensive. Those are nice cars, though. But y'all be safe out there and pray for me because God knows I need it. And I'm sorry I don't have no service. I don't know what be going on. I swear to God, it's Satan. It's got to be. It's the only logical explanation. Oh, but pray for me because God knows I need it. And happy Saturday, y'all. Y'all be safe. Bye, y'all.